should know. I have never really liked you at all. I cannot hide it anymore. I've been thinking about the future, trying to forget about the past. So many ways that I could change for the better.
This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey y'all, I want to say hey to you real quick, and then I'm going to describe this situation. Hey Rachel, Ava Slim, Hio, Abellis, Eek, Jenny Jen, Indy Girl, Bad Girl, Robin, Misty, Hio, Mayla's mom, nope, not today, Darlene, Missy Q, Eek, Thomas, Anna, Patty, Jeannie, Bad Girl, Ava Slim, Shelby, Mayla's mom again, Anders. Hey, it's good to see you. Eek, I'm glad you're here today. Queen Olive, Ruth Ann, Teresa, Shelby K, Wolfpack, Rachel Lee, Meemaw. Hello, Meemaw. I see you. Cara, good to see you. We missed you yesterday. Anna, Meemaw, Tosh, Heather Wells, Tosh, Queen Anne. Okay. If I missed you, comment again so I can say your name. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you. Now, I'm going to tell you that I just got sent where this might have been put out somewhere else. So if this is already out here, I swear to God on my life, I did not mean to clickbait anybody because I pride myself on not doing that. I've seen it one other place, but it was groundbreaking for me. So if for some reason I did, please let me know. I left the thumbnail up. I thought about changing it, but there's other information here I don't think is out. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it up and we're going to talk about it right now. So y'all can let me know if you've seen this and I was mistaken. And if I was, again, I sincerely apologize because that's not what I'm about. Okay. I can't slow chat down because it doesn't allow me to see that I'm live. So there's nothing I can do about it right now. I'm going to be on a different page and I won't see you. So I'm going to be trying to come back and forth and check comments. Please hit the like. Thank you so much. Okay. So first of all, the 896 page document I have is not 896 pages. It is evidently 1,700 pages. Okay. And this is in part of it. What this is tablet, where Stephans Stearns is talking to his dad on the tablet. Okay. And, oh, hold on. Okay. Let me make sure y'all can see it because it just went away. Okay. So what I want to talk about specifically, and I hate when I do that. We can scroll through all of this, if you want to. I want to talk about one part specifically. This is where it shows, where they caught him on camera. Do you see all of the times? It's got the times he was at Mississippi Avenue, 13th Street. They got him everywhere. Okay, so we go past that. And then I don't know what that is. Okay, so this is tablet. This is where him and his dad are talking back and forth on the tablet. They're talking about their right to vote, all of that, talking about books, and we can come through and read that if y'all want to. If you have seen this, like I said, I sincerely apologize. I'm not a clickbait person. I don't do that. I want to talk about this right here. But after this, there's pictures of the books and stuff that he's getting, and we'll scroll right back up to that and I'll read it to you. So, I mean, I don't think anybody knows, has the pictures of the books. So at least that's that's something new. Okay. Anyway, we'll talk about all that. Let's go back up to this paper, because actually me and Hio were looking at this earlier and she read it to me and I was like, holy crap, right here. Okay. Let me check comments real quick. Thank you all. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hold on. Edith, thank you for gifting a membership. That was super sweet of you. Cara gifted 5 memberships. That was super sweet of you. And Eek just gifted 20 memberships. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That was super sweet and supportive of you guys. I'll play our clip real quick and we'll get into this. And again, let me know if you guys have seen this or if you've seen all this information, and I'm going to run with the live, but I'll make sure to change it afterwards because, again, it's never my attempt to clickbait anybody. thank you guys for gifting the memberships, and welcome everybody to Speculation Station. Please tell them thank you if you were gifted a membership. Okay, let's read this. So, and we'll go back and read the other ones if you want to. This is from Chris Stearns to Stephen Stearns on June 25th, 2024. And it says that he read it. Now we look at the bottom right here and it says mom. So this was written by Stearns' mom to him. Okay. Hold on just a second. Okay. So let's read it. It says, "You don't see the commissary and cannot order anything. I hope that gets resolved quickly. Do you remember your balance? Jail and prison are not meant to be comfortable. All part of the mental punishment, I guess. Stay positive. Talk with your attorneys. I keep thinking about how you would never rat out a friend. It really made me mad, and I felt like you valued them over us when you let them get away with stuff. Don't be doing that again. We all know Jen was heavily involved in this, and I'm disgusted that she is still free and you are not, when this is not all your fault. You need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking of you and how she can help you right now. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. When you do, you are hurt. When you do that, you are hurting us too. Please get out of your head and over this and start talking with your attorneys. This stuff is serious and you need to approach it as life and death, which it is. I think of the craziness Madeline lived through with Jen's various partners. Not a stable life at all for a child. I do pray for what I assume to be Maddie and you daily. I am thrilled that you are working out again and have a physical outlet for the stress. I hope you get your coffee and candy straightened out quickly. So far, I haven't seen a cancellation on Congo. Let us know as stuff filters down to you through the system. This origami book is just paperback, no paper, just patterns if I read it right. Well, I'm off to feed the curly ones now. Love, hugs, and prayers, and every day and night. Love, hugs, and prayers now and every day and night. And that's from his mom. Now, if you have seen this, let me know. And I'm going to show you some other things. Because again, like I said, it's never my intention to clickbait anyone. I hadn't seen this. And then they talk about books. Like he responded to that. Let's see. So that was from his mom. And it says, yep, it's a blank screen. When I pull up my commissary link, I think if I recall, I asked around the 19th for you to drop 30 in, but haven't been able to order. So -2 per day since then, maybe 18 left at this point. So maybe drop me more in and it will have funds whenever I do get this sorted. I'll keep you updated on that. I will let you know as the books come in. So far, I have The Hobbit, Eaters of the Dead, Spear, Dragon Teeth, Timeline, and the Sudoku book. I have finished The Hobbit today. How I enjoyed that book. Oh, gosh. And it means I have read all the books you have sent me. I am, after all, a voracious reader, and many of the Crichton books are read straight through in the day and night. They are always such page turners. I can't help it. The battery light's starting to flash on the tablet now, so I think this might be my last message tonight. It really runs out fast under use, and I've been keeping it logged out with the screen off in between messages. In other news, I at least got a standard issue spoon and cup today. That's one problem solved for the time being. Anyway, I love you both, and I will try to get the tablet again in the next day or two. So right back. Hugs and kisses. Well wishes to you both, and give my love to the fur babies. Good night. So, oh, sorry. It doesn't say much else about that. Like most of it is the books and things. And that talks about, again, that's the beginning, and it talks about the cards going. It shows the books that he's been sent. Like he was telling them, like, it starts with some kind of like polling places, like how to vote. If y'all want me to read that, I will. And I'll show you the books. Okay, so y'all have seen it. Like I said, I did not mean to clickbait anybody. I'm so sorry. I'll change that. I can't change it during the live. I might can change the thumbnail if we watch a video or something. But trying to, like, I can read through all of this if y'all want. It seems to be, I wanted to see what was right before that. This is just talking about like the books he was sent. Good to hear from you. Sorry to hear about the hassle. I will instruct your mother accordingly. Okay, no problem. She is probably awaiting approval from the attorney. She has to run everything by them first. It looks like I've used up the free bonus message on the system, so now I'll start using through the credits. It seems this message will use 50 credits. How much do the credits cost? It says, I currently have 200. As far as the note, okay, wait a minute. How much do these credits cost? I currently have 200 as far as the notes about some of my personal property at the house. It was mostly instructions for what to do with my Warhammer 40,000 miniatures and terrain. I have a bin of terrain pieces in a yellow and black bin in the garage that had been left near the treadmill on several plastic boxes full of minis in my room, and even under the desk if you want to get them out of the way. I was going to suggest finding one of my friends on my Facebook page, Matt Measle, and seeing if he would be interested in any of them or the terrain, or if he might be able to help you sell them, or if you would rather just donate them to the Northport group. He could possibly help with that too. If he's willing, contact him and see if he's willing to do so and coordinate with him. As far as any of my Battletech minis or supplies, just leave those alone for now. There are some boxes of Battletechs and also some gray boxes with a red handle on it. This is labeled Battletech. Near the handle, it contains a lot of my Battletech minis. I'm reading this to see if there's anything interesting in it. So I'm going to keep going. Just keep that aside along with anything else Battletech related until we know more about how things will go. Matt wouldn't be interested in them and almost none of the other guys play it either. So hold on to it until I figure things out on my end. There's a small second gray box with a red handle that's not labeled. It contains Star Wars Legion minis, and it belongs. Okay, I'm not real worried about all that. I don't think Matt would be interested for my trading cards games, but if we need to part with them in the future, Frank Peltra, which is the Warhammer friend, might be interested in some of them, but as I said, leave it for now until things come more certain. They have some value. As for my Tamagotchi and V-Pet collection that is hanging in the closet around the room, don't do anything with them just yet until we know how things will shake out. A lot of them are rare, expensive, and difficult and impossible to replace in the kind of pristine condition they are in, so leave them for now until we know more about what my situation is going to be. Sorry for the info dump. Just contact Matt Measle about my Warhammer stuff. Okay. It's 50 credits per message. This is talking about the vote. Let me see what y'all are saying. Okay. Doesn't mean they aren't to blame. It says so much to me, like that one in particular, because I'm like, they're talking about Jen is involved and the parents. Yes, Hio, right here. Hio is the one who helped me find this. And again, I don't mind changing the thumbnail. Like I said, I would never, ever intentionally clickbait anyone. I didn't know it was out. So you guys are saying you had seen some of it. But you might not have seen all this, so that's why I'm leaving it up for now. This is talking about rights to vote. For assistance reviewing a person's criminal record to determine what steps need to be taken for that person to vote. So I guess he was trying to vote from jail. But then down here, he tells them where to go. Hey, I've just gotten the tablet again, at least for a little while. The battery seems to run out quickly, though. Might last only a couple hours. I received The Hobbit, so that makes 5 books total received besides the origami and cards that were stuck into my property. Still waiting delivery of Congo. How are things at the Poodle Palace? I miss you guys. My mind is often occupied by thoughts of home. I wish there was help with the puppies. How are they and Lacey? Hey, Steph, sorry for the delay in responding. Amazon canceled the order. Mom ordered replacement origami. Be on the lookout. The puppies are well. We recorded one of the puppies making sounds like Chewbacca and immediately decided to call the puppy Wookie. Lacey's being a super mother. Talking about the books. As we were talking on the phone last time, I was looking up the books you said you wanted and putting them in the cart for later. I want to make sure I got the right ones. We'll send a couple talking about Congo. I don't get much sleep between the heat lamp. Talking about the dogs that just gave birth. Okay. We're talking about the dog, and it says, wow, congrats to mom for the 50-pound milestone. I doubt I'm continuing to lose weight. Oh, goodness. This is a long one. See, like, I'm trying to read through it because it might have some interesting information. Okay, wait a minute. I am not foolish. Okay. I miss you both very much. One nice benefit of the tablet is having access to the law library, which has a lot of case law and rulings. I've been busy looking through that for a bit for anything relevant to my own situation, and I think I've found some things which may give me some hope, but only some. I am not foolish enough to get my hopes up entirely for anything, and can only really hope that my legal team will agree with my ideas and are willing to pursue them as tenaciously as I want them to. I can't explain much here, but there is still perhaps a slim hope for my situation. At any rate, my odds are not 0% at this time. Patience and faith, and no small amount of praying and hoping is what is going to get me through. I maintain hope that I might be able to come home once this whole nasty business has reached its end, and I ask that you both remain hopeful as well and continue to pray for me to be delivered home again. I have to have that hope, or I would be falling into true despair and lose the will to live. So keep that hope to yourself as well. Patience and faith. Still trying to figure out the issue with Commissary on this tablet. It's blank when I open the link. An official came to check on me today to see how I'm doing in isolation, really see if I'm cracking up and need to go back to the care and watch a mental health. And I mentioned to him my issues with Commissary. He said he would look into it. I opened a request to administration through this tablet regarding the issues as well. I have 7 copies left, which is dangerous for me. I like 2 a day, down to 1. I received a random drug test today. My name popped up on the list for it, which neither myself or the officer could understand since he knew as well as me that I've been in isolation the whole time. So we both chuckled and shrugged and did it anyway. Go figure. I wish I could be there when the pups start to open their eyes. I'm glad Lacey is such a good mom. I wish I was there to pet her. Write you back. Okay. And it says books delivered. That's the one we just read. Let me check the comments real quick. And we'll continue going down through this document. I'm sorry. It's when I'm reading this, I'm on a different page, so I can't see the comments. Hey, Lisa, is me and Sunflower May. No, I feel bad because I feel like I might have clickbaited you, and like that would crush my whole entire spirit to know that I clickbaited somebody, because that was not my intent. And like if I did, I will change that immediately after, because I'm serious. Like if I accidentally even though it would have been accidental, if I clickbaited somebody, like it would crush my entire being, because I am very like against that kind of shit. Hey, Pamela. Oh, I'm glad you received a membership. Okay. Oh, thank you, Mayla's mom. That's what I was thinking, Heather. Since he is a felon, I don't think he can vote. I don't think he could vote either. Yeah, many parents can't accept they produced a monster. Okay, I'm going to go back to this page. I won't be able to see what you're saying. But right here where it says, we all know Jen, and it's redacted, but, I can tell what it says for the most part. We all know Jen was heavily involved in this, and I'm disgusted that she is free and you're not, when this is not all your fault. You need to think about yourself more and her less. Sure, she isn't thinking of you. She sure isn't thinking of you. Sorry, y'all. And how she can help you right now. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. When you do that, you are hurting us too. Please get out of your head over this and start talking with your attorneys. This stuff is serious and you need to approach this as life and death, which it is. I think the craziness Maddie lived through with Jen's various partners, not a stable life at all for a child. I do pray for what I assume to be Maddie and for you daily. I am thrilled that you are working out again, and it goes on, but I keep thinking about how you would not ever rat out a friend. It really made me mad, and I felt like you valued them over us when you let them get away with stuff. Don't be doing that again. Like, that heavily implicates Jen and says that her family knows more. Did you slow down, chat? Did you figure out? Yeah, I think that's why they were talking about it. Rebecca says he may be able to vote before conviction. I'm not sure. I think that's why they were talking about it. Okay, so let's continue going down. We read the next one because I wanted to see if he mentions it, but he doesn't. It says, okay, I'll add some money and replenish funds. By coincidence, I came across your list of books, so we'll jump on Amazon and order you more books. Have you seen the attorney regarding the POA yet? What is the POA? For those inmates who live in Osceola County and completed correct paperwork, the Osceola County Elections Office will be conducting voting on July 22nd. If you have court or an outside appointment, please let me know. I can get you a ballot. I can get your ballot to you so you can vote. For those looking to vote, please reach out. However, if you have an open felony case or fines or fees, you are not eligible to vote. I will get this from the election office, not eligible. Convicted of felony and financial obligations, please see other messages about voting that shares the law. I have sent out what the Florida's Rights Restoration Coalition advised, and it tells when. Resource fairs. Okay. This says, I have not seen the attorneys regarding the POA yet. I was finally able to use the commissary kiosk. It said there was 28. I ordered 25 copies for delivery on Tuesday, which cost 21, and couldn't get any more hard candy or crackers for budget, but I prioritized coffee and ran out yesterday. What is the POA? Let me see if y'all are telling me what the POA is. Power of attorney. Power of attorney. That's what it is. Power of attorney. About the car. That's what it is. Y'all, please don't forget to hit the like button. All right. Going back to this. They're talking about books. That Ready Player One, if you don't want to send the trilogy yet. I mean, it's just books. Okay, I'll put more funds on it. Their system says their network is down, so I'll keep trying. We'll order when we can. I think Congo is out for delivery. Puppies are over a pound. They're becoming more active. Quiet and calm will slowly dissipate. I'm working on something large. Oh, whoa. Okay. It won't be long before their eyes and ears are open and their fun times begin. Joy. Quiet and calm will slowly dissipate. I switched companies this week as I'm working on something large. Won't go into details due to privacy, but all is good. July 10th, I am told, is pre-trial meeting to determine if your trial is pushed off to a later date. I'll let you know if I hear anything. What is something big? Right here? Okay, I switched companies. Oh, it's not going to let me highlight it. I switched companies this week as I'm working on something large. Won't go into details due to privacy, but all is good. July 10th, I am told, is pre-trial meeting to determine if your trial is pushed off to a later date. I'll let you know if I hear anything. And that was from his dad to him. He says, okay, thank you, and keep trying to add funds. If I'm lucky, I might be able to use the kiosk again tomorrow, perhaps a few more items, candies, crackers. Yep, sounds like the noisy times are upon you. I'm a bit jealous, though. I miss puppy time. What books are on the list? Okay. I hope your big project works out. Yes, I heard July 10th as well, and that is likely to be pushed off and dragged out for a while. Give Mom my love and write back. I'll turn the tablet off and check again. Much love. All right. I'm coming back over here. Hey, Rochelle. Oh, my goodness, Abellas, thank you. Yeah, that's what it seems to say, Missy Q. Soto and Stearns families knew it and looked away. That's what I mean. I have questions. These chats show how enabling his parents are, said Cara. Yeah. Thank you so much, Abellis, for gifting 20 memberships. That was super sweet of you and so supportive. If you guys were gifted a membership from Abellis, please tell her thank you, and I'll play our clip to welcome our new members. Thank you so much, Abellis. That was super sweet of you. So I'm still going to change the title because it's not like groundbreaking information and the thumbnail, but like, there's things in here y'all haven't seen. Yeah or no? Like, you've seen all of this? Here's what's being sent: Jurassic World. Remove It and Christine and Call of the Wild from the list. I'll send you my own list. Hold on. Let's see if there's anything interesting. They're just talking about books here. Mom sends hugs. We're both responding the same message. Love and hugs. Remove It and Christine. I have a feeling even the box for the box sets would be an issue. Talking about books. That's all for now. The battery's getting low. Love you very much. There have been many requests since I shared the community event for the clinics. This cannot be done while incarcerated. When I asked for the dates, I was given this information. We have S&E clinics throughout the year. The schedule location can be found on our website. And then it shows me that he got The Hobbit. And that's what the back looks like. Japanese origami for beginners, 20 classic origami models, where it comes from Amazon. Easy origami. Michael Crichton, Eaters of the Dead. Let me see what y'all are saying. I'm going to scroll back up to see if y'all are saying y'all saw all of this already. Y'all are, Cajun Juju, it's good to see you. Everybody over here at the Speculating family is so sweet. Like, they really are. Hazel said, in my opinion, as I said before, that Jen's family knew what was happening to Maddie. And Abellis, that was so sweet of you. Thank you. I don't want to implicate them, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't see Yolanda and Juan, who loved her like so much, to have known something like that, especially thank you, Hio, for letting me know. Especially since, like, I don't see Yolanda having known that was happening to Maddie and condoning it or knowing about it or anything like that. I could be wrong, but like, as a grandparent, if you heard that was happening to your child or your granddaughter or anybody, you would put a stop to that immediately. Like, I would think. Hey, Cozy. Nolly said, I haven't heard any of this. You haven't heard any of this? Mayla's mom. Hey, Mayla, thank you for being a member for 1 month. Mayla says, thanks for a community where we can voice opinions. Oh, yes. Thank you guys for being here and voicing your opinions. Okay. So let's continue. It showed me like it says the law offices of Robert Weasley or Wesley. But I was like, they're not about to show me what his lawyer sent him. And then I saw these redacted pages and I was like, okay, well, I'm assuming that's messages from his lawyer. And then here we have State of Florida versus Stephen Michael Stearns. The judge is going to be Keith Karsten. It's a felony. Status date I guess this was sent April 24th. It's open. The agency is the Kissimmee Police Department. There's 0 fees due, and it says Stephen Michael Stearns has a public defender as the main attorney. And he's charged with first-degree homicide, a capital offense, level F, degree C. It's hard for me to see because it's kind of blurry. So it says July 16th at 9 a.m. he has a jury trial. July 10th So it's going backwards. July 10th is going to be the pretrial. No. That's already passed. I'm sorry. That was 2024. Okay. So he had initial appearance March 25th, 2024. He was arraigned on, excuse me, I said March, I meant April 29th, 2024. He had his pretrial July 10th of 2024. And he had a jury trial at July 16th of 2024, evidently. I guess to be arraigned on the charges. And then that says criminal juvenile department public defender application filing fee was $49. So he owes $50 as of right now. Okay. Public defenders designation of capital defenders and certification of compliance. Notice defendant to seek the death penalty. Notice of provision of discovery. Notice of provision amended witness list. Discovery notice of digital evidence sent to defense. Discovery notice of digital evidence sent to defense. Notice of provision of witness list was March 22nd. It goes up to June. So he's got his amended witness list, his discovery, his witness list, intent to rely on certified records, provision of supplemental witness list. State's response to demand for discovery was May 7th. Defendant's notice of intent to participate in discovery and demand for favorable and impeachment information in accordance with Brady. Okay, I don't know what all that is. Let me see what y'all are saying real quick. Okay. Did you give 20 more memberships? Hold on. I'm scrolling up. Okay. I wanted to make sure because it was up at the top. I was like, I know you didn't give 20 more. You better not. Okay. And then somebody just did a thing. Yes. Michelle, thank you for becoming a member. That was super sweet of you. Thank you so much. And we're really glad to have you as part of our family. Okay. I'm going to go back to scrolling through this. I've got something else I want to show y'all that we can talk about. Original application for indigent status. Okay, so here's the charges. And again, it says he's going to have Judge Keith Karsten, Carsten. So it's not going to be the same one that Sarah had. So it's all sexual battery on a child under 12, like all the counts. Sexual battery with a child 12 to 18 from the familial or custodial authority. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts of that. Lewd or lascivious molestation. Like, look at all these charges. All of these are unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance of a child. Like, there's just so many charges. What does this say? Oh, whoopsie. Order granting motion to continue pretrial held the court. Having reviewed the defense's motion to continue, hereby grants the motion to continue for the following reasons. A defense not sufficiently prepared for trial. The non-moving party does not object to the motion to continue arraignment on amended information waived plea not guilty entered in case reset for pretrial and trial. Hold on just a minute. Oh my gosh. Y'all. Goodness gracious. Thank you for gifting memberships. I really appreciate that. Eek gifted 20 and Abellis gifted 20. My goodness, y'all. Thank you. If you guys were gifted memberships from Eek and Abellis, please tell them thank you. And I will play our video. Okay. Thank you so much for gifting those memberships. You guys are super sweet and supportive. If you guys were gifted a membership from them, please tell them thank you. Thank you guys. You guys are so supportive. Oh yeah. Let me thank you, Jenny Jen. I'm going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up. I do have something else that I haven't seen out. Now y'all will have to again let me know if y'all have seen what I'm going to show you in just a minute. It's not like, oh my gosh. I'd like to post the link now. Thank you. It's not like groundbreaking, but I'm like, I looked at it and I was like, I don't really know what it is. I mean, I kind of do, but we'll finish this first. I'm on page 49 of 64, and then we'll go to the other thing I've been wanting to share with y'all. So this shows the origami. Like I'm not trying. I used to live a very different lifestyle, and I had gotten in trouble. I had been in county before. And I had friends that were there, and I would send them like the coloring books, and they would let them have those. But I mean, that's a different state. But they were allowed to have coloring books. I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to have origami. Poor guy can't even play spades because he's in solitary. Yvonne got a membership. Yvonne P says, thank you for my membership. Yes, my mods are amazing. They've been here since the beginning. Gypsy, we talked about an email that might have been out. Like, I'm scared to death. I might have. Oh, hello, my peoples. I'm scared to death about clickbait. I hope I didn't, but we got some stuff that nobody's seen that we'll talk about.
Look, what I'll say about that, and hello, chat. What I'll say about that is that your whole chat has said, yes, some of them have seen it on Grizzly. Some of them have seen it. I know that I posted to you that it was on Court TV a while back, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. So it's not recent to where everybody's just been talking it over. So yes, maybe a little clickbaity accidentally, but that can be fixed.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of people that haven't heard it. A lot of people don't watch those channels. So, we're glad that the information is coming out now. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll finish looking at this. I'll pull up the other thing. I don't know if it's been out, and then I'll change the title regardless, because I don't want, y'all don't understand. It would break my heart to know that I clickbaited somebody, even by accident.
At least you're willing to admit it. So that's what we call accountability in the true crime arena. And I think that it's valued and appreciated. So.
Oh, thank you. It's good to see you too, Cozy. Thank y'all for coming up.
Hey. I hate that Stearns likes Michael Crichton. It's Crichton.
It's Crichton?
That he has good taste. Yeah, I hate that he's like a nerd, good taste, like reading The Hobbit, Michael Crichton. Like, damn, this Fear, that book is a bomb. Damn it! Yeah. I hate it. You can. It's like it's really hard for his parents, right? Because parents are only responsible up to a degree because people have free will, like the parents of the Crumbleys. I saw that trial, all that trial, where the parents went to prison because they gave their kid who had mental problems a gun.
Right.
You know what I mean? They didn't say, here, take it and shoot up the school, but your kid has mental problems and he was completely neglected at home, and I feel terrible for that child. But he turned out to be this little monster, and I think that, it's a new thing, and I know some people don't agree with it, but everybody has their opinions. Every opinion has their pro and their con,
Right.
But like he was he was like 16, a child, but a teenager's a child, right? They're still a kid. They're not an adult, Like, yeah, they raised Stinky a certain way, and he became an adult and made his own choices. And I can't even imagine how hard it must be for your child. Like, one time I was talking with my mom about some kid that like killed another child. I don't remember what it was. And we were shocked, and we were talking about it. And she said, this was like years ago, and like way before I got into like true crime. And my mom was like, yeah,
It's worse because I was thinking, imagine these parents, they lost their child because somebody hurt their child, and my mom said, well, I think in a way it's worse for the parents of the offender, because can you imagine, say, my child took someone else's life? I mean, they're both horrible. They're both you know what I mean? Like, they're both horrible things.
Hold on a minute.
But
Hio, pull
Yes,
up the
love.
document with the maps.
Okay, I'll do that while you're.
Like, toss me. If I disappear, let me know. I'll be right back. I got to
Mike
get it to
toss you.
stop doing.
Oh, she's yeeted herself again. There are so many fantastic names in the chat.
yeah,
Phoenix
Gypsy
says he had
Painting
a brother in the
What is
Navy.
that?
Phoenix said he had a brother in the Navy. So
I didn't
thank
know
you,
he had
Phoenix,
another
for that.
brother.
Lisa, you know what I'm gonna do? I will get you a new Discord link right now, and then I'll get Allegedly to fix that on her page. I think it goes out. The server link goes out every 7 days or so. That should fix you up right there. Mela's mom, that is so true. Dahmer did have parents that, well, at least a dad that loved him very much and didn't necessarily agree with what he did. But I will say we do know our kids, so I know for a fact that he knew there was something wrong with that boy. I mean, he could tell you growing up, he knew something was wrong with him.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
And that must be extremely hard. Like, I'm not saying that the victim, like the example that I use, like the example's mom, the victim's parents have it less bad than the perpetrator. But I mean, we never think about the perpetrator's parents. Like, can you imagine your child hurt someone? Your child did something horrible to someone else.
Yeah.
And like, I don't. But how did they raise this kid? Probably without consequences, because he's 37. He looks like he's 87, but he's 37. He's not. This guy's not even 40. He looks like he's 70. And he's doing these horrible, horrible things. And yeah, you can raise your kid the best way possible and teach him all the right things, and he can still turn out to be a piece of crap. And
Allegedly, back chat, please.
Okay.
Sorry, Cozy. I'm sorry.
No, and a lot of people like have horrible upbringings, and they still turn out fine. They still don't turn out to be a monster, because you do have free will. But depending on how you are raised, depending on your childhood, it's going to be easier or harder for you to make the right choices in life later on.
Yeah.
Spot on, Cozy.
And like, I can't imagine how hard it must be to say, like, oh, your son's in jail because for a fact that he was abusing a child. You're about 99% sure that he took her life, right? Because we have no proof that he took her life. It could have been Potato, but we're like 99% sure that it was him. And you still love your child, but how conflicting is that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna pull this back up, so I have it.
They're horrible.
But I've got questions, because with what she said, and I'm gonna work on pulling it up. It's on our shared drive, so I should be able to get it back up pretty quickly. But I mean, judging by what his mom said, I think that Jennifer is more accountable. Judging by what she said in that email. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just been like, "Oh, I didn't start it,"
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both pointing a finger at each other, and I can't wait to see them both throw the other one on the bus. But I was listening again. I was listening to another channel who has awesome commentary too. I put the link in the Discord. She has videos without commentary of like all these interviews. And I noticed something that I mentioned this yesterday, how Potato never says one nice thing about Maddie. All she does is complain about her.
Yeah.
But she was low-key blaming Maddie also. She wasn't very outright, because when she was telling, but they kept begging for sleepovers in her interview, the filmed one. they were begging. Okay, who was begging for sleepovers? Because she said, because the cop was asking her,
Right
when did
there.
you start sleeping together?
Do you see the
And she
car?
said,
Yeah, it says vehicle sighting. That's what these little orange things are. These are all
Okay.
the vehicle sightings. I was just trying to
Well,
get
this
to
is
the very
new.
beginning of when he
Yeah.
was taken off, but while Cozy was talking. But yeah,
I
there's
didn't
so
mean to
many.
interrupt you, Cozy. I was just trying to
No,
figure out these maps that are there.
There we
I'm just
go.
I'm just filling in the silence here.
Cozy,
Oh,
I was gonna ask Cozy, what do you think when Stern's mom was interviewed, where she brought up, well, she alleged that Maddie mentioned something to her that she thought was inappropriate. Like, I've always kind of felt that maybe that was something she pulled out of her ass during the interview, because I do personally see that, yeah, he was spoiled as a kid. I still don't believe the story that he had some brain injury unless they show it in maybe the trial or something. But
Yeah, maybe he bumped his head, but
yeah,
not enough to like actually do something.
right. But I was
I
just, I don't
don't
know, like, what,
know.
yeah, like, I just
I
don't
think I
think.
only listened to the parent interviews once, maybe not even all the way through. I didn't
Mhm.
really. Um, I don't.
Cozy,
I don't have
you're
any opinions
you're
on it.
crackling. You might want to maybe hop down and jump back up because you're crackling, or maybe
Who,
step to
me?
the right 5 steps. Yeah,
you're cutting in and out.
Oh no!
step to the right 5 steps.
I might have to put my. I may have to use my headphones and maybe I need to charge it. But I mean,
Okay.
I don't really have an opinion on that. I don't. I didn't really follow it.
Okay.
But didn't she say that? Like, first of all, Maddie slept over their house.
Maddie, what?
Maddie slept over their house, and
She, mhm.
she said that she told the mom, you know how kids would just like say stuff, right? Like, and she told the Stearns how they were in bed together, and she woke up and her leg was on top of Stinky, and she like laughed and thought it was funny. Like, she's just like an innocent child, you
Yeah.
know. If
Are
that
when
was
we
my
okay,
son,
so
I'd be
when
like,
we're
what are you doing
calling
sleeping in
parents
bed
by
with your
names, are we
child?
calling them? I still am confused. So Stinky, is that supposed to be Stephen Stearns?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stinky
Yeah.
Stinky
McGee.
was Krusty
Okay,
Stearns.
so
Yeah, right.
Stephen
Yeah,
Stearns, and then Jennifer, you guys are calling her
it's
a
potato.
potato. Okay, I gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
So this is
Let
the
me.
phone number right here that they're pulling it off of. They used his phone to track where he was, and then the orange car, as we go down through the map, is going to be the sightings of where the car is.
Okay.
And I'll have to get closer into some of them. It says vehicle sighting. You won't see it for a little bit because they're trying to do that. You know how they were talking about like geofencing, and then the
Mhm.
you know the I'm doing it with my hand, like you guys can see my fingers, but the geofencing and the the area around about where the towers were, from the tower this
Mhm.
way and that way, and so that's kind of what, trying to find one that has the car first. So they're trying to track it. So as he was moving, the geofencing will be different. The fencing of where the they'll be able to cite where he was is going to stem out from two different towers. He'll be pinging different towers, is what I'm
Okay,
trying to
so
say.
it's showing the different towers he's pinging.
Okay.
It's what it looks like, like that, like if you were watching a rotation in a ship, like the ding, 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 ding,
Like
Yeah.
sonar.
different beings.
Like
Yeah,
sonar. Yeah.
almost like that, but it's in a aspect of, fencing around where a tower would hit. I'm
How,
looking to see
how
what
do you not think that would like not be traced? I never understand when killers do, or any kind of criminal do something like this or anything where it's like they don't think their phone's gonna get tracked. It just
right?
amazes me that they
But
always do that.
that goes back to what the mom is talking about, that Jen is more involved in, and me thinking that Jen is the mastermind behind this, right? And somebody sent me an email or made a comment, and they're like, you look at the situation, and Stinky Magoo, Stephen Stearns, messed up at everything. Like, he was on the
Mhm.
camera at the dumpster, he was on the
Mhm.
camera driving around, he got caught on camera putting her in the trunk. Like, every single thing Stephen Stearns tried to do, he fucked it up. Sorry for my language.
Mhm. It's all
So
good.
that
So
tells
if you
me that Jennifer's more culpable in this than she likes to put on, because there's
Yeah.
some kind of mastermind behind this, and it damn sure don't seem to be Stephen Stearns.
if you're watching, and I was doing a little too fast to notice, but if I as I go down here, you'll see the house in the bottom or in the top right here where the purple is, and then the red. So as I go down, probably a little too fast for comfort, but you can see how the map kind of shows,
Good Lord.
yeah, where he was going to. So and then they kind of widen in, like they go further down into it so that they can tell generally. I guess if you're looking for something specific, say a body, you would want to track where that person was within a range of where their car was. Kind of like the Sebastian Rogers case, they did within a 5-mile radius from the beginning when they started their search out. But this guy had it all on camera and all in his car. So
Yeah.
Which I was about to say, allege. I do think what you were mentioning with Jen, like if she's the mastermind, to me it would make more sense that if she wanted to have it to where she seemed completely innocent, other than weird, bizarre statements she make in the interview, where it's just showcasing Stinky doing all the traveling, getting caught on camera, phone being traced over the place, especially when he leaves the hotel to. I'm trying to remember in that situation. Did he already hit her body when he went to the hotel and then left? That I guess was the night that he left to go back to whatever he was doing.
Yes, he got caught at a motel on the top deck, moving her body to the trunk during the early morning hours before, I think it was, before he went back to the house. So this would have been while he was out between 7 and 10. He went to a hotel and then put her in the trunk. And then they go to a hotel when forensics searches the house and does all their shit.
Okay. Wow.
So you guys will have to school me on this. This is 2:26 at 9:02 at night. So on the timeline, what is this telling me?
Let's see.
Okay. That's the night that she went missing at 9 o'clock. This is where he's driving.
That's what I'm saying. So this is the night she went missing at 9 o'clock at night. He's driving. So where at on the timeline that you guys have shown? What is it telling me that he's doing? Between what hours to what hours was he supposed to be driving around with her?
Hold on.
Yeah, what time did he get the flat tire?
That would have been at like between 12 and 2.
Oh.
So that was in the morning hours.
Okay, so hold that thought. I'll share this because I have pulled up the where it talks about where his car is. Okay.
Yeah, well,
you know me, if I'm not anything but try to be at least factual as I can, like tell me what it is I'm looking at. Because if I'm saying this is 2:26 at 9 o'clock at night, what was where he was supposed to be versus what he said versus what the timeline is showing.
He was meandering.
No doubt. What is 9 o'clock at night in military time?
You were just trying to get more card video game.
21 hours is 9 p.m.
Yeah, so we need to find 2100 on this.
We need to make like that wall like the cops do where they put like all the evidence with like the red string connecting everything. We need a virtual one of these.
Don't get like Charlie from whatchamacall. Famous meme.
I need like a blank wall in my house. I'm gonna start doing that.
Just pointing at it. See, I told you guys.
Okay, so February 26th at 07:35 hours. So let me go back up there. Don't turn it off there. Don't turn it off there. Let me go back up here and see if I can find it.
Okay.
7:34 hours. Okay. This is 2:25. Oh, we're on February 26th. So do I need to be on February 26th? Because we're on February 25th.
Yeah, this is February 26th at 7:35. It says that is
AM or
observed
PM? Oh, 700. It's AM. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So that's the morning where he's throwing away. Male exits the vehicle, throws something into the dumpster. He's wearing red shirt and tan pants at 7:40. He leaves through the east gate of the complex at 10:14. He enters the complex through the east gate at 10:54. He parks. Okay. So it goes up to 11:56. He enters through the rear gate of the complex with a male driver, consistent with driver on previous recordings. At
Can I just
12:44,
point
this
out that Eek gave 50 memberships?
what? Eek!
Yeah.
Jesus!
Awesome.
Don't say your name. Don't yell at
Don't
me.
do, girl. You better stop it. Thank you for gifting 50 memberships. Oh
Can
my
we get a
God!
clap?
Thank you.
Yeah, let's get a clap.
It's a low that yes, clap. Oh, I didn't want to do the Sarah Boone clappity clap for you, Eek. Clappity clap.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
if you
Eek.
have a branded account, you will not be gifted a membership, which also happened.
Thank you
doesn't
so
get-
much, Eek.
Yeah.
That was super sweet and supportive of you. My goodness. If you guys were gifted a
My
membership
BFF.
from her, please tell her thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so much. My
Choo
goodness.
choo. Choo choo.
On the book.
That
Goodness
movie still
gracious.
gave me nightmares.
Really? Thank you so much, Eek.
No.
That was so sweet and supportive of you. If you guys were gifted a membership, please tell her thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay. So this goes through 12:49 to 1:15 on the 26th. And then it says, I could not locate the vehicle continuing to travel along this eastbound path at further intersections, so I checked the surrounding cameras to where the vehicle was last observed. I located similar size, style, and color vehicle past Creative Inspirations, which is where Old Hickory Tree Road, facing Old Hickory Tree Drive south of 13th. Vehicle passed the location at 1:16, which will correlate with the last intersection passed. Watching forward, I located the vehicle return northbound. That's when he dumped the body, because he
Right.
leaves out at 1:16 and comes back at 2:11. That gives him an hour to dump the body. And then this is him coming back towards the house that day where she's missing. And then it doesn't show me. It says, and then it goes to the 27th. So for you to have him at 9 o'clock on the 26th here, it doesn't tell me what this is. Like, it
So
doesn't.
that's 0900. So this right now we're at 11:49 in the morning on the 26th. You could see it. I'm going up. Let me go back a little bit. You can see that they're tracking him in the red. You see the red? I'm going to go
Right.
back down. They're tracking him. This is 11:41, 11:45. So you see it going back down. Then it has one, gives one coordinate. Might have been a stoplight. I don't know. And then it goes down from there. So you said they lost it for a second. This is at 12:47, 11:57 to 12:47. Was his phone off?
He would not have had his phone with him that day on the
So he
20th,
didn't take his phone.
supposedly.
So this is 2:26 at 12:51. It
But
shows him leaving the house. This is right here. He's leaving the house. This is at 12:51.
okay,
You could tell that that's where the house is there on the left. You see the little house symbol and then the
Yep.
car moving away from him. And it tells you what area he's going. So now we're at 105, 108,
I'm
109.
thinking they tracked the
110.
GPS in his car.
So we're in between 1317 and 1410 at that bottom right hand corner right there where the car's at. 1411 hours right there. So what I'm trying to get at is I don't know what time he was said to be where. See, and that looks like it's going back towards the house.
Abellis, thank you for the support. Toxic got a membership. Yay!
Did she really? Is she even here?
I don't
can't-
know, but that's gonna make her feel better. I know she's been in the hospital because she's been so sick. Poor thing. That's so
Aw,
awesome.
JPL. Oh, you guys are.
You guys are so sweet.
I don't even know what
Aw.
This is the best community for real.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love our community. I'm changing the thumbnail now because like it really bothers me to think I might have clickbaited. But what's interesting about this, Hio sent me a thing talking about where did Stefan drive 300 miles? Like he drove around 300 miles that day, and I can pull that video up and we can watch it. But that's why I was like, with these maps, is it going to show him driving the whole 300 miles that he drove that day? I think it would.
It will. It is going to. But the problem is, and this is the truth, I'm not a mathematician. So I'm having to do this as I go. Like when you're on live, you're kind of put on a bit of a people who've been in the true crime community for years and years will be like looking at it and go, oh yeah, I know what this is. You see all these redactions up here, you know. This says C Stearns. Is that his phone number? The phone is registered to Chris, and that's why. And this is Stefan's phone number, but it's in, you know, because they do the legal part of it is they have to put it up whose phone it is or whatever, whose name it is. I can
Yeah,
only
because the
guess that
cops
that's
took
his
his
phone.
phone, so his dad gave him another phone.
Yeah, that's right. That is right.
But he didn't have any phone with him on the 26th.
I don't know that we know that that's true. That's what we've been told. I mean,
Okay.
we don't. I mean, I'm
Wait,
just
Jen
saying.
said that, so who knows?
Yeah, I was gonna
Because
say.
remember, she goes, "Oh, he forgot his phone at home. Oh, so he called me. Well, how did he call you? Send you a smoke
Mhm.
signal?"
Mm-hmm.
Like the very next sentence, she says, "Oh, he called me and he said he forgot the phone at the house, like at her house."
He's
When he was
using
driving
the
around.
owl.
Yeah, he said an owl. And he was going
It's-
around for vape juice, and I wonder if he's driving around so long because I hate to say this. This makes me want to barf, but it's almost like he was the person that. I mean, he liked her way more than Jen did. You know, I wonder
That's
if
what
he
we were
couldn't say
talking
goodbye to
yesterday.
her.
Yeah.
Like he just kept driving around, like he couldn't, bear to like
I
finally.
get that, Nolly. That makes sense. If he left
Mhm.
You know what
us,
I mean?
and the cameras
He
are
did
picking
seem to
him up
have
all the
feelings
way.
for her, or he's just looking for a good spot to,
Angela,
dump
right?
money.
Fitbit. Is it OnStar? I mean,
I
there's
think,
so many devices that it could be. We don't
yeah,
always think of that.
it's got to be one of those because he left his phone at home, but this says it's Verizon. So, but it could be the Fitbit, and that could be why they talk about the Fitbit so much.
I was gonna say, could it have been a burner phone, possibly?
I mean,
Track
but
phone or something.
the whole
Yeah.
point, like he left his phone at home that morning so he wouldn't be tracked. That was his thought process. Like, they're not going to track me. I'm going to leave my phone at home. I'm going to leave Maddie's phone at home, and I'm not going to have a phone on me. But
Mhm.
then you take into consideration that he's caught on camera at the dumpster and putting her body in the trunk. He probably forgot he had a Fitbit on, or it could be the OnStar in the car because I do know they pulled info from the car that he was driving.
Oh, it could have been that.
Yeah.
Also, the end of that map is also the search for her and the radius that they were doing. So we have to keep that in
Oh,
mind. It's two different things. There are different maps for different reasons on here. The
Mhm.
vehicle is not cited on here anymore, but they're also talking about, and you'll notice the next thing down here, that's the buildings they went to, the people that they spoke to in the buildings, anybody that they were trying to canvass the area, that
yeah.
kind of thing.
I wanted to let y'all know that the police did their job when they were looking for Maddie, and I have video of them going to so many houses, knocking on the door and asking about that, but I don't want to put that out because that's just random people. They're asking if they've seen Maddie, but these police worked their butt off on this case, and I just want y'all
Yeah.
to know that.
Door to door.
Huge props to them.
Door to door.
Absolutely.
Have you put out all of these incident reports? I haven't read whether you've gone through these or not, and whether you're planning on reading through them.
So that's what the indictment readings are, is basically reading the incident reports. Those ones at the end, it's hard for me to see them on your page, but they might have information that we don't know about yet. So I'm
Mhm.
working to that. I haven't got quite there yet.
I gotcha.
I
Very
did
good.
fix my thumbnail and my title, so it's not technically clickbait anymore because y'all don't understand. That will like irk my soul. So I do have some videos that we can pull up and talk about. Let me get them emailed to myself and we'll watch these videos. And we can also continue our Jen Soto thing. I had a couple I wanted to talk about from Court TV we'll look at.
More
Hold on.
potato.
Oh, I love
Do what?
picking her apart.
I was like, more potato. Yay.
I had potatoes for lunch.
Let me see.
She's the only potato I don't like.
Good.
Okay. Da-dum.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something while you're pulling all that stuff up. I saw this comment yesterday that said, I just love how all these true crime creators, these new true crime creators are coming out and they're going through this case. And I really don't appreciate how all these new people are jumping on this. I'm going to
What?
say this. I don't have any idea what in the world we're supposed to do if I've never looked into this case and just, yes, so the material is out there. Yes, I could go watch Grizzly. Yes, I could watch GOC. Yes, I could watch Gray Hughes. I could watch anybody. But if I want to go through the case and I want to look it up and I want to spend my time doing it with you guys and I want to do it here, then I don't understand why we're ridiculed for being. I was new to the Sarah Boone case. I mean, I watched it, but I just now put content out, and 5,000 or 6,000 people per video would tell you they don't mind watching my stuff. So, it's not haters, beach bum. It's more just like people that are miserable in their own selves. I just
It's
really
like saying, nobody
love.
can make any more YouTube channels because we already got so many.
Yeah, there's no room.
Everybody's got a point
Yeah,
of view.
I don't-
No more
Might
room.
say something, you know.
It kind of, I don't know if you ladies are into locales.
Sarah,
or
did I
anything like
say
that.
that? I didn't mean to. Look, I can watch
I
some
haven't
hater
watched
channels.
Locale.
Yeah, because I was like, in the locale community or communities, it's like that. I was just say it's tribalism. Some people just get so hyped about their particular cow they like to look at or make fun of, and
Yeah.
for me, it's like,
Gatekeeping. Yeah, gatekeeping.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Don't put anything out about Sarah Boone because we've already watched that over here. I recognize that, and I'm totally in agreement that if you're, for example, the Sebastian Rogers case, there's been nothing new. There's no crime, and nothing has come out in 10 months.
Mhm,
So if
mhm.
we're watching the same interview on 50 channels, then yes. But this stuff right here, like I had never seen those emails before. Yes, they've been out somewhere that I haven't
Yeah,
watched.
those maps.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
some
not-
of that
this is
stuff
new
I
to
haven't
me.
seen them.
I've watched
Please know
everything
that.
5 times over on.
Absolutely.
No.
Occasionally classy. What a beautiful name. Occasionally classy. Not all the time, just once in a
Occasionally.
while.
Yeah.
Only for certain people.
Yes, Alien, I agree.
Yeah. I'm going to try to pull up this from the beginning, but this one references specifically the 300-mile trip they took. I'm going to see if I can find it. Sometimes I can't.
If you're not able to pull that
but
up,
yeah,
I can
but
pull mine back up, love. Just let me know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find the playlist for Maddie real quick. Just to see. But I
wonder
don't,
if
you know,
cops, like, watch
anybody's
these
allowed to talk
channels.
about.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, Kara.
You're good. Anybody's allowed to talk about anything. And you know,
Right.
like I've said before, I would be sitting here talking to myself without y'all being here. So having a new place to talk about things that somebody else might have put out is okay because it's a different community, a different set of people, and different views and different ways of doing things. So I think there should be as many people that want to talk about it and want to make a channel
Exactly.
can do that because it's always going to be different.
Yeah, and I think the more people
not
that are
seeing it. So
talking about
what?
a case, I think it
I
kind of puts.
understand.
I wonder, like, I think it puts pressure on law enforcement. You know, I wonder if law enforcement
Yeah.
watch these videos.
You bet your ass they
I
do.
wonder.
Oh yeah,
I'm
You
sure.
You
know,
bet your ass
we're
they
out
do.
here
Oh,
like
yeah.
picking everything apart. I know. I want to think that we're kind of like helping them. You know,
In some ways we
we're
are.
armchair
Okay.
detectives.
Yes, in
We're
some
keeping
way
this
we
shit
are.
alive.
But
know?
you tell
We're-
me how it's beneficial to now this is just me talking. This is not allegedly talking. This is just Hio. I disagree wholeheartedly with putting any effort into reaching out to these families or the victims
yeah,
of the
no.
families
No,
because
leave them alone.
Yeah.
I
they
do
are
too.
going
though.
through so much. I don't think that we should be reaching out and trying to get our hands in on talking to people that are directly involved in the case in case we are hindering an investigation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We don't know what they know.
If
We
you're-
don't know what the police know. And so we just got to investigate with what we're allowed to FOIA, what we can put out, and what we can speculate here between us. But to reach out to them, I don't know. I think that's dead wrong.
It's the
Yeah,
Sebastian Rogers case. I've heard a lot of so-called true crime sleuths talking to the family or getting involved in meeting them at IRL, and it's just weird, in my opinion.
And
Yeah.
And the thing about that is, like, even if they reach out to you and you talk to them on a live stream and they say something, you're going to be called to court. So, like, if you're talking to family, I hope you're making enough money to drive across the whole entire United States in case you're called to court. Like, it just, I don't
Yeah.
agree with reaching out. And them reaching out to me would make me really nervous. Like, I would really not want to do
was very
anything.
sad.
Can you
Very
imagine be sitting here talking about how Sebastian Rogers was this, that, and the other, and how he's probably not with us anymore? You're putting it out into the earth like, hey, maybe he's not around. Well, first of all, can I remind everybody that it took 4 years for the little girl to walk back into a police station, say, please take me off of the, what is her name? I know y'all know who I'm talking about. It just slipped my mind as soon as I said it. But she said, please take me off the missing persons list. I just want to get my driver's license. Navarro.
Okay,
Yep.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
He could have just very well walked out, but we've got their parents in the chat who listen to so many different creators, and we're telling them, oh, well, we're just going to stop looking because we don't think he's around anymore.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not cool.
You can do that
God,
to
I hope
people.
that kid's okay.
Fingers crossed for real. Yeah.
I kind of
I
stopped
don't
following his
talk
case a little bit because I have to like trim down the cases that I'm following because there's not enough hours in a day. not
Alicia
enough-
Navarro, Jennifer, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know?
talk about Sebastian, but I think he's alive. I think that
I
somebody,
hope so.
my personal viewpoint is that he met somebody online and they picked him up that night. And
jeez, I hope it's okay.
unfortunately, but I think he's
Mhm.
alive. That's just me, though.
There's some weird stuff going on there, like Summer Wells, you know what I mean? Like all these kids that we keep talking about because we're trying to figure out what happened to them and hopefully
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, and the 17-year-old girl who just walked out of her house in Nevada, her parents and her got into an argument. She walked out of the house and walked into the desert. And I think
yeah.
they've said that they've are trying to match the DNA to her, that they think it might possibly be her. I mean, animals in the desert. You're walking in the middle of the trees and everything in the middle of the night in Tennessee, and it's 26 degrees. It's like there's animals, there's manholes. Look at the the case that happened around Sebastian's case, the kid that they found in the manhole. He was 150 yards from the house. That kind of stuff is just, we just don't know. So when we put all of this other stuff and we just make accusatory statements like his mom did this to him, his dad did that to him, we don't know. Now, Jennifer Soto, on the other hand, I feel like yeah, I mean, you went in for some kind of immunity because there's shit that you don't want to tell everybody. We're figuring you out. We're not scared of you.
Yeah, and
we're not scared of you.
Right. And in this case, they've unfortunately, Maddie's deceased. I could get the information through FOIA, so I talk about this case. And yeah, there's a lot of suspicious things going on with Jennifer Soto, and we could say the same about a lot of cases, but like Sebastian Rogers, number one, there's so many people talking about it. Number two, it's like you're either black or white. There is no gray, and it's been.
Well, you're talking about a crime that doesn't exist. There's no crime.
Right. There's no
it's
crime
not true
yet.
crime.
Yeah. So
He's just a missing child right now.
We've got creators that have made hundreds of thousands of dollars talking about a missing child as if it's a crime. That's the crime.
Yeah, and I play that's another reason why I play the missing kids video at the beginning of my live, because I mean there's 32 usually in each video that I make and I try to do it once every 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, none of those kids are being talked about. That's my other big thing with that.
You're like, I feel like the first creator I've seen have done that. I don't feel like I've seen anyone else done anything like that.
I want the charges to stick to Rhonda. Stick it to her.
Now, I know Arctic Fox True Crime and Duchess will put out like the flyers for missing children and missing people, which is really informational. They actually will go back and catch up on the case and say, this person's been found. I unfortunately don't have time to do all that. But they're really good channels if you're looking for like, that need to get out here more as far as missing people and children go.
That should be
Mom,
like
that's right.
thing.
Alex Erickson and Ward Ward Case Studies both do work on that some.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Definitely be more
you're
thing.
talking about the difference between, a true crime creator that works on missing persons cases, or if you're talking about, or I say true crime creator, not all missing persons are crimes, right?
Mhm.
Some of them we just don't know. But
Right.
then people that are putting out things like, okay, let's find some of these missing kids. Can we get their faces out? But let's talk about a crime that's actually happened. So.
Right. Exactly.
It's snowing. Hi, Dainty. You're not new.
Hey, Dainty Dane.
Oh, you're saying the information is not new. Yeah, we figured that out. We just were kind of going back over it. She changed the thumbnail on that already.
Yeah, I did. I changed the thumbnail and retitled it because y'all don't understand. It would literally crush my soul if I found out I accidentally put out clickbait.
Oh, I hate clickbait.
Okay. So this is titled "Why Did Steph?" What?
Before you get back off of the sidebar, Natasha, she is a mod for I forget her name as soon as you say it. Natasha, it will tell me who it is. But she does a missing person of the week, or is it of the? She does a missing person every week, I think.
Okay.
Jen Lou?
No, it's Melissa.
Firestone?
Jade. Melissa Jade.
Oh, okay.
Melissa Jade. Yeah, that's who it is. I couldn't remember her name off the top of my head. Melissa does missing persons before she gets into the nasty stuff.
Okay.
Bye, Dainty.
Bye, Dainty. Good to see you. Okay. So this is titled, "Why Did Stephans Stearns Make a 300-mile trip while investigators search for Madeline Soto?" And so I figured we could watch this real quick. So you guys, let me know if you can think of anybody else that does that type of stuff. I tried to mention them here. I'll try to grab their links at some point today and put them in the description box for those people who do talk about currently missing people.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go ahead and get started on this. Hold on just a minute.
Already got his arms crossed.
On February 28th, 2 days after Madeline Soto had been reported missing, her mom...
What did you say, Bazard?
I was like, he already got his arms crossed as usual.
Oh, yeah. Closed off, trying to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, let me put Inspector BS up, because I don't want to get in trouble. Hold on. He's got to sniff out the BS.
Bullshit? A bullshit?
Yep.
That kid's so cute. He makes me think of Charlie bit my finger. It really hurt. I don't know why. He's not even the same accent, but so cute.
Yep.
Look at that little nose.
Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh. No. Hold on just a minute. There we go. Now, I'm going to play this. I said play.
Mom, Jennifer Soto, and Jennifer's boyfriend, Stephans Stearns, found themselves temporarily homeless. Deputies had sealed off the Kissimmee condo where they lived so investigators could photograph the potential crime scene. Detectives had also just seized Stearns' cell phone and his car, a silver Lincoln MKZ. Early that morning...
Okay, so, and as soon as they seized his cell phone, Jen's calling everybody in town to try to get this man a lawyer, but she didn't know anything. Okay, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Why is this? Yeah.
Oh, potato.
Okay, Jen.
The couple, along with Stephans Stearns' father, checked into this hotel near Disney. All three went to bed, but then, according to investigators, Stearns snuck out of the hotel and went on a mysterious mission. Detectives wanted to know where he went as they tried to seek justice for Madeline.
Do you think your son's capable of doing something like that?
My computer was acting up. I don't want it to be muted. Okay.
Mooning werewolves.
I know it's a hard question as a father. Nothing would surprise me at this point. I don't know.
Okay, hold on.
Listening to the voice of Christopher Stearns.
Man.
I've got to have that interview. Hold on just a minute.
When your own dad
My computer's
said,
being slow. Nothing would surprise me at this point. I don't know. Yeah.
jeez, yeah.
That Hio just dropped the link for Discord, and then I just dropped the link for the panel. Oh, somebody super chatted. Oh my God, I'm sorry I missed you, love. Mooning Werewolf said, anyone able to help me join the combo? I've got some thoughts on potatoes, Stephans, Stearns, and TOD. Thank you for the super chat, and I'm so sorry that that you were not able to jump up. I appreciate the super chat, and I'm sorry you had to send a super chat for me to see it. My computer's being slow, and I'm trying to do like a lot of things at once. But there is the link, so you can click that and come up. And thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Hey, Miss O, thank you for coming to the channel. Okay. All right. I was seeing what was in back chat. Y'all were talking. All right. I'm going to play this again.
The father of Stephans Stearns.
What time did you get here last night? 3 a.m. 3 a.m.
Christopher Stearns says that he, his son, and Jennifer Soto arrived at the Town Place Suites at Flamingo Crossings and checked into 2 separate hotel rooms.
I brought my stuff up, went over, said goodnight, and then hit the sack.
About 2 hours later, at 4:42 in the morning, surveillance cameras captured Stephans Stearns leaving the hotel through the main entrance.
Okay, I need the closed caption up. What's that? They said 4:42 because they got him leaving. The dad said he leaves at he actually left at like 3:45, I think. Hold on, Miss Werewolves is coming up. Hey, Miss Werewolves, thank you for being here.
Hey, thanks for letting me in.
Okay. You let me know if you want to say something. I'm going to play.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, then that, to me, that sounds like he got up either maybe like 2 or 3 at the very least when what you just said, allege.
Yeah, we'll play that interview after this where the dad talks about it, and they give a specific time from the police.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Investigators believe he then climbed into Jennifer Soto's white Nissan Sentra and drove for more than 2 hours to the town of Northport, which is located between Sarasota and Fort Myers. Stearns has occasionally...
Dang it. I was trying to pause it on that map because I know people have mapped it out before, but I had not seen the map like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't realize how far it was.
Yeah, that's a hell of a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's and we know that he was there because he connected to the Wi-Fi at like 7 in the morning that morning. So he's definitely there for a specific reason, and I think it had to do with the storage unit and the computer in there and
Trying
the
to get
hard
rid of
drives and
evidence,
things
Yeah.
like that.
So much of it is wooded and like just out of nowhere. So I think he would probably feel pretty safe doing any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I hate it when Jen is like, "Oh, and there's gators." Who would say
like, what
that
the
about
fuck?
their child? Because what was the plan?
Yeah.
Dump her in 6 years for Florida, and like,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
you
the
see
plan-
gators everywhere. But who would say that? Yeah, just take her somewhere and dump her where there's gators, so then the gators would eat her, and there would be no evidence.
Like, well, also it's Florida, so she knows, oh, it's going to like cause decomposition way faster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
And
she's that
then-
smart.
Yeah, and I do wonder if like the shower that they said Maddie took, if that was in order to keep her colder, in order to like make rigor like set in less and kind of use as storage a bit. Yeah.
Now,
so she was already in the trunk by the time?
I think it was
so by
5
this
a.m.
time, yeah,
Oh,
he had already dumped her body, and they were staying at the motel that night, so forensics could come into the house. So Maddie had already been outside where she was found for some hours.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
While we're watching this, I'm simultaneously, somebody sent me an email. I'm going to see, because I was trying to go through it, but I didn't have enough time. Somebody sent me an email on rigor mortis.
Oh, I
Okay.
do have some
I'm gonna play this.
experience knowing some of that too.
Okay, what can you tell us about it? Tell me about rigor mortis.
So with rigor mortis, it can be very dependent on both the individual, the place, and how they died. How they died, if it's something where it's very violent, and especially if they have been given any chance to fight back, and if it's a long or a very hard fight, then that's going to cause things like lactic acid and different things to build up in your muscles, and it's going to set in faster. And then
Right.
So it's going to be, if it's not like 2 hours onset, it could be within an hour of it. However, and it does seem like she has injuries that would show that the rigor would have likely set in a bit faster, as well as temperature. Now, temperature can be changed, especially if it was a shower or something. But then,
let me check this.
What you can do is, if she were to lay on her back and they would prop her knees up about 90 degrees, rigor would set in such a way that you can easily fit someone into a car and also carry them while they are in any state of rigor. And by using a seatbelt or the collar, it would keep them in place. However, most people aren't going to understand how a body that is, a body, not a person who's alive, is going to move, and how anything with like skin slippage and things like that. So being able to slump or anything, that can be someone who is just off slightly, as if they're kind of tilted, almost like in an indentation of the car, and the whatever weight has been like greater on that side. So, and especially if they still don't have full rigor, then you're going to have even more movement. So some of those things, they're going to affect it. And also age can be a factor, as well as other health issues. It doesn't seem like Madeline had any other health issues, but she did have tons of stress, which would also cause the thymus gland to either be gone or shrink extremely rapidly, which is something you have until you're around 12 years old. And that's one of the big indicators of childhood stress and chronic abuse. And so if she doesn't have all of those things that she needs, that's also going to affect the rigor.
This is cool. But after a few hours, the rigor mortis kind of goes off and the body becomes limp again, right?
Yeah, it's usually after like 20, anywhere from, it could be 18 hours, but it's normally like 24 to 48 where it's completely limp. But, there is a process of, like, it's not like, oh, you just become non-stiff. It's a little bit like rigor where
it's gradual.
You slowly get less, yeah.
And knowing these two, I highly doubt they would have known anything like that unless they researched it.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, that's giving them way too much credit.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, this could all be just some weird fucking chance, and they got lucky with that, and then unlucky with everything else, thankfully. Well, I mean, putting someone in a shower, that is also a cold one. That's also a common abuse tactic.
I have heard that. So yeah, you're definitely right with that.
So it could be, I put them in the shower to quote unquote help them, wake them up. And also sometimes they don't realize they're actually dead. It hasn't hit yet. But people who are abusive, especially towards children, will do ice baths and cold showers as a punishment and to wake the child up, so that they can
Yeah.
either be abused again or at least they are alive. So that could have been something where even Stearns did it because, they're going to find Waydorn DNA or something like that.
Well, they did pull DNA, and I mean, they got the blood from around her neck,
Oh, yeah.
her bottom area. So the temperature that day was 73. The high was 73, and the
Yeah.
low was 55. I do believe is what this is
Sure.
telling me. If the paper says the 25th, and we know she was dropped off at 8:30 that night, and that means it's got to be sometime between 8:30 and midnight. So I mean, that means like for the shower thing to happen, it would have happened somewhere in that time frame. And if we're going to go with the accidental overdose theory, it's very possible. But wouldn't a cold shower make you stiffen your muscles and make rigor mortis set in more quickly? Because I'm trying to figure out how she's able to sit in the car.
It slows the decomposition process.
Right.
Being warm is going to speed it up. And so then rigor mortis is going to set in faster, even though we think of cold as being like making you stiff.
Mhm.
It's not in that way for someone who is dead.
Okay.
And then what was your other? It was between 8 and midnight
12.
for, yeah.
Yeah, for the
12
document,
noon.
and I even asked because I had a doctor's appointment this morning, and I told my doctor, I said, because it was virtual, it was over the phone, and I said, I've got a weird question for you, and I said, where I'm reading a document that says somebody passed away on the 25th of February, and I said, how accurate would that be? Would it be a guesstimate, or would it be accurate considering that they're talking about the DNA results they got back from doing swabs and clipping fingernails? And she said it could be a guesstimate. She didn't know a whole lot about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It seems like they would have all that like accurate, like down to the actual date, like a whole day off would not be at a trial.
Yeah. Like they could be waiting on certain pieces of evidence or just simply not sharing it because that could also implicate fucking Potato Head over there.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it may even implicate more people because the way that's okay, so I call him Shit Dick, but anybody else can call him whatever he wants. Whatever they want.
We're just coming up with new names for them.
Thank you, LZB, for the super chat. Thank you.
Krusty the Clown.
I call him Stinky McGee.
Stinky.
Yeah, that's
Stinky
why
McGee.
after the showing all his everything in that forensic thing, I'm just like, it's Shit Dick. So
yeah, I was listening yesterday when you guys were talking about that program. I was cracking up here. Like, poor woman. I know it's her job to be just because it's someone's job.
You need hazard pay, you need bonus, you need days off.
Just because it's someone's job to do a horrible thing doesn't mean that it's less horrible. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. Yeah. Like,
I don't care how much junk she has to look at on a daily basis and photograph. That poor woman has nightmares. I pray for her soul.
I know.
No doubt.
Oh my god.
All right. I'm going to play this and we'll continue on. I think I'll pull that document back up because I still have questions about that DNA stuff and we can talk about that after we watch this video.
Fort Myers. Stearns has occasionally lived in Northport at his parents' home.
He waited till she went to sleep and snuck out. Not long after.
Would drive to Northport in the middle of the night while authorities were still searching for Madeline.
I don't know whether to say I'm flabbergasted or impressed at Stephans' endeavors.
Isn't that something? And keep in mind, he used to be an officer. Like, I don't know if I'm flabbergasted or impressed that he got up off his lazy arse and did something.
That's weird.
Oh, that's just so gross.
Yeah.
That's weird.
No.
You're cutting in and out, Cozy, baby.
It's like my son's a loser. Hey, he found something right. I guess I'm proud of him.
Right. I got this interview on here too. Maybe we can review that one day. We'll continue on. When my computer.
Well, he was As far as I knew, he was going to pass out at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It didn't take me long to crash and burn. And then to find out that he made this round trip to Northport.
Originally, police thought Stearns could have stopped by this storage facility in Northport where his dad rents a unit. At the time, detectives believed the teen may be deceased and her body might be located in the storage unit. But when investigators searched the facility, nothing was found.
Why would he spend nearly
Excuse
6
me, nothing. We found a computer that was on and running with a modem on and running. I mean, normal people don't have that up and running in their storage unit. I don't think that's nothing.
I think he was.
wait. Was
I was
this
gonna say, I think
Anyway.
before or after he made the trip in order to place it there? Did he take stuff and then place it in
This,
there before or
but
after?
would he? I mean, okay, when we look at the pictures, and I'll pull them up as soon as, I guess after we get done watching this, when you look at the pictures,
Yeah.
that unit's on and has been there for a
Oh,
while.
yeah.
Like, I know what you're saying. It doesn't look like he set it up to do something there and then like had just set it up. You know what I mean? Is that what you're asking?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if he'd gone to his parents, gotten some things, and then set it up in there in order to like try and do some things. I'm not sure.
right.
But I know he also had some other drives in there. So
Yeah, it could be possible.
they were missing a couple drives through it, but they found some.
Yeah.
And then they found some at his parents' house too. So I don't know if he placed it in there after he thought the cops would have searched it first. I'm fuzzy on
You know
that.
what? That's a good question. We're gonna jump over there real quick
God, that
and
was
come back
stupid.
to
when they did
this.
that.
Hold on a minute, my computer's slow. Because that's a good question. I would like to look at the picture and see if it looks like it was just recently set up or if it had been there for a while myself now.
Yeah.
If my computer will work.
I mean, if there's dust and everything on it, it would. Although you'd have to see if it's disturbed. I'm sure it's really dusty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hold on just a minute.
Well, I was just gonna
And
say,
go
is it
through.
that the dad said the whole 3 a.m. thing? Because that's what I was like. Was he probably faking it, and he was already just waiting till they both went to sleep, and then he did his thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
But
apparently he would stay up
people.
late and just
Go ahead, babe.
no, apparently he was like a night owl and he would sleep until whatever time and stay up until whatever time, like gaming and
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, both things could be true. He could be just pretending and then took her car, went out for a joyride, like maybe going back to the scene of the crime, well, not the crime, but where he dumped the body. Well, I hate saying it like that. Got rid of
No.
evidence.
Yeah.
And checking up on it to see if somebody found it, maybe driving around to see if maybe he could find a better spot to,
Mhm.
Yeah.
because it's very common for
I think.
people to return to the scene of the crime to look at it again for whatever reason,
But didn't they find Madeline closer to St. Cloud and his parents are over in Northport?
They found her on 192, and as you can see, my computer's kind of crappy, so I don't have a way to pull up like a map to like show locations and how far they are. So I don't know how far 192 is from there. Maybe somebody here does.
Yeah, I know to the right of Kissimmee is St. Cloud, and to the left is Northport. So it's not as if you're driving through it, but you could make
Okay.
a circle,
So it
like
would've been-
go through like St. Cloud and go back, but not sure. Didn't seem like that was what they had said.
No, it showed that one map where he kind of curled over. I'm sorry, I've been trying to get your comments. My computer likes to have seizures and throw fits currently, so I'm working on that.
It's all
Okay,
good.
they
I'm
black out
on,
the
like,
screen.
A super old iPhone right now. It's I'm surprised it's even working at all.
It's ancient.
Ancient technology brought from the aliens.
So it looks like there's like papers and cords and stuff laying on top of it and
Wow.
something. I mean, it looks like it might have been there a while, but it doesn't necessarily mean it had been there for a while. He could have been moving stuff. Okay, let's check the.
But who has?
I mean, it
a
appears to
modem
have some
working,
dust on it.
right?
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't know that? Yeah, he's
That
got
was
this
brand
storage unit
new.
with the modem working, the computer
No,
on.
I knew it.
Like,
but I'm
what are
just
you
like,
doing, sir? in the storage unit?
Yeah, because how far away from the house is this place? It's not like, why would you put a modem for your internet somewhere else that isn't your house?
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
that
Right.
run-
Yeah.
his dad
my-
had said it was
my-
like 20 minutes or so from the place.
yeah, I mean, he's not picking up the internet from that far away.
Mhm.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right.
my opinion,
No, he had a
he was
hotspot
making
and
money off
everything.
CSAM, you know, and this was like a server of sorts where he
Yeah.
kept more stuff.
That
I mean, he
also
has
leads into,
thousands of images and
Yeah.
videos,
Yeah, look
you
at
know,
that.
not just of Maddie.
Jeez.
and
It's
there
running.
isn't much dust at all. It's cleaned. Like for someone like him too,
It is
that
clean.
is pristine for him.
So maybe he did just set this all up trying to. Oh, there is some dust. Well, maybe he did just set it up, but it looks like it had been there. It's relatively new. And
He
there's
could
car
have
keys. I thought
brought
that
it-
was car keys.
He could have brought some of it over and then had a lot of it there too. It could be mixtures of it. Oh, the car keys are
Yeah.
weird though.
Yeah,
I mean,
where's the car?
either way, it's weird. Nobody has a modem in a storage facility, a running modem, you know?
Well,
Because he's selling this stuff.
Yeah.
He's part of it. He's like a supplier.
I have
Yeah, that's.
just a suspicion.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think this is where he sold it and distributed it from. I think he came here because if the FBI hit him, he goes
Yeah.
back to a storage unit, it's not going to necessarily implicate him. And I think was his thought process on that.
Yeah, and I'm
Sorry
sure
to
he
There's
has
only
like
so much
double
you
over
can keep on your
VPNs.
phone, you know? You probably like download it to this stuff and or upload it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, I personally think this could be. Do you remember like the Silk Road Dread Pirate Roberts type
Right,
situation?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he has something like that, and that's not why he's ratting or anything, because that'll mean like insta death, as and like
I'm sorry, Mark of Truth.
that could also mean that for thousands of other people. And so that loyalty would be even greater than with Jen, although he could have had a deal also with Jen of if we get found out, I'm the one going to prison. But
Yeah.
I have access to them.
Yeah. I think that's
Especially also
because she never
deals
blames
with
him.
like, I'm just gonna call them pedo Johns who could have come.
Yeah. Or
And
Trevor.
yeah,
Look at that.
like all of that, because Jen facilitated the space and then gave
Supplied the
her daughter
product.
Madeline to the wolf himself.
Right.
And
Yeah. And you know when she said to the cops, like, I just let him do whatever he wants. I never question him.
Yeah.
okay,
But this girl-
yeah, fucking right. Really, you're not going to question your boyfriend on anything?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's ridiculous.
Well,
This
he's
is
my on and
pristine.
off boyfriend, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they hadn't been together for almost a year. And
Yep.
he doesn't work.
So
So
this-
this is where he's getting his money. I mean, you know, like
Yeah.
anybody
This
can
is his
put two and two
full-time
together.
job.
Yeah.
And
And
this is
collecting
his full-time job,
Tamagotchis.
waking up, going to sleep, being the person who can pray and not be found out as well, and to continue that facade as well as procure, produce, and abuse.
I've never heard that Mark of Truth. I'm sorry for what you were talking about. If you could tell me where you found that, I would love to know. back to this picture, it looks really clean. So, and I know
Yeah, I was just saying that some of
it,
that stuff looked brand new. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So, and I know he connected to his dad's Wi-Fi. Now, I think I think it states at the house, like he didn't necessarily go in, but he did connect to the Wi-Fi that night. The mom woke up because the dogs were barking. Now, could he have brought this stuff here and been in the storage unit trying to get rid of stuff that night? I think it's possible because this stuff
Oh
does
yeah.
look like that. I mean, especially that's really clean for him. So that's definitely possible werewolves.
Yeah, and I mean the
Hey,
dad
Lisa, thank you
said
for becoming a member. That's supportive.
the dad did
Sorry.
say, "Oh no, you're good. Please, I talk over a lot of people. Just tell me to shut up, and that's fine."
no.
Like the dad said that he'd taken tons of modems and different things, also, because he noticed it, and then he found a couple more with that USB drive. So, and they haven't found some of those, but some of those may also be the ones here in the storage unit, because he's like, okay, I can at least put this up and then figure out what to do with everything else.
Yeah. He said that those electronics, modems, route wires, and connectors are for the storage unit office. That is not Chris Stern's rental unit. So we could be completely wrong in this. So if like she's saying, this is the office for, like, this is how they run the storage unit. So they would need a computer and modem to keep track of like who's bought the unit and all of that. So she says this is not Chris Stern's unit. So I could be wrong in that, because if that's what she says, I believe her. So maybe that's the office. Wait a minute. Tell me right here.
I was thinking, well, then was he doing like a deal with someone there to use that kind of material?
Oh yeah, that could be possible.
I mean, anything's possible.
He may also have just simply, this could be that setup, and then he moved other things to the storage unit, which they did find things in there. So even if this is the like office, it could be that, there's other things and this is just the office.
Okay, she said that a subscriber said that. So I would question, why would the police have pictures of this necessarily if it wasn't his unit? Like,
that looks like a unit,
because these came from the FOIA request.
Yeah,
It came from the FOIA request, which it could be the office. I want to be fair.
It doesn't look like an office.
And it came from the. Yeah, I think we're delayed. I don't mean to keep interrupting
sorry.
you. I would wonder why these pictures were in the FOIA request. No, you're fine, honey. Right. It's just delayed and it makes it sound like I'm trying to overtalk you. But I mean, let me just say that it could be the office. I don't know. I just know it was in the FOIA request with the storage unit information. So I don't know why this would be relevant to the FOIA request for the Madeline Soto case unless it was his unit. But it is possible that it is the office. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah. No, I think that I agree. It is strange, though, that they're slowly going to that door and then seeing everything. And those keys could possibly be ones that he'd stolen from the dad, because I know the dad said there were extra keys. He could have made several extra keys.
Yeah.
So maybe he was leaving keys. Yeah. Like maybe he was leaving the keys for even other things in there so that it wouldn't be discovered. That's also a possibility.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look more into this DNA stuff, because I'm curious. I'm going to play it again and see what y'all think.
I think that surprised a lot of people with the DNA that is what you put out recently, and other people too. Like, I thought it would have been like his DNA would have been all over her, or some aspect of his DNA.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Yeah, I
But I was
think
100% sure that
that
she
his
had been
DNA.
molested that night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that
We
his DNA.
definitely did something.
Yeah, I think his DNA was found, but it's surprising that it wasn't like found where she would have been sexually assaulted.
Yeah, that's definitely like, oh, that is weird. When you did that video not too long ago about that, I was like, huh.
That's also why I wonder about the shower. Because there are also
Yeah,
other ways of cleaning things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if someone uses peroxide, because that's what breaks up the blood. Because the luminol reflects off like the iron and things in the blood. And
yeah.
but if so that's why bleach doesn't work, but peroxide will cover it up. So there's also different things with other chemicals as well.
Okay.
Well, I don't know that they used luminol. It says a color change test, so I don't know. Like what I'm assuming is they
Yeah,
took part of
that's
the
probably
Q-tip
human.
and put it
Yeah.
yeah, something like
Oh
that.
yeah, I know. I just
All
meant
right, let's.
destroying biological material. That would be indicative of him.
Yeah, Amanda Page. That reminds me of the Chandra Vander Ark story as well. That poor child in that case was God Almighty.
Timothy,
All right,
Brutal.
yeah.
Hopefully you can see that as clear as I can make it. This is from the Florida
Yep.
Department of Law Enforcement. It's from J. Mark Glass, who's the commissioner. It's a laboratory report from April 10th, 2024. It says, attention, Mark Morris, who's the head detective on the case. I apologize if you hear stuff in the background. It's nighttime and I can't. It's loud here at night in the Speculating family's household. So it tells us the victim is Madeline, what I assume to be Madeline Soto, and you'll understand why in just a second. The subject is Stephans Stearns. The offense is a death investigation in Osceola County, February 25th, 2024. Okay, so what do you guys think about the February 25th, 2024 being the time of death, like the date of death, and then he had her in the car and sitting up somehow, and rigor mortis had not set in? What are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I can't get past it.
So this is offenses. Offenses could also include SA and other things before and during those final hours.
Okay,
So
but it says
that could
death
be 25th.
investigation.
Yeah, the offenses is a death investigation, but they could be looking, okay, this is from part of this, like damage is from the 25th, but the actual death could be on the 26th.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, okay, so that might explain that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll learn
Because
at trial, of course, but like I couldn't that part has bothered me since I saw it. Like I'm like,
Oh,
so that
yeah.
Don't
makes
get me wrong,
sense.
but the cops I don't think they always know the exact time of death, right? It's always like
Correct.
it depends on a lot of factors, so it's always like an estimate,
Right, but
Yeah,
like
and
to
if it's an
be like
estimate, they're going to be a little bit probably earlier rather than later during that estimate.
right,
so
but
maybe like
like
a really educated guess.
I would think that it would say like February 25th to 26th, or like, I mean, to say it happened on the 25th, I mean, that's the difference between who's implicated, like a lot of factors, because, excuse me, like in order, I mean, like it feels like to me if you were going to say like, because saying the 25th could implicate Stephan or Jen, which either way it could, I suppose. But if you were going to say it was like the 26th, that would mean if we're going to go with Jennifer's story that she's asleep, then definitely Stephan would have been the only one to been able to do it, right? But if you say the 25th, that opens the possibility for it to be Jen, and then to take that to court and say, it was the 25th when Jen was awake. It implicates a whole nother person. So that's why I'm like, I would think they would have to be accurate. But a lot of people have told me that it could be an estimate. And even like I talked to my doctor this morning and she said it could be an estimate. And I'm like, I mean, it's just, I can't believe that they would be a whole day off by the estimate, even by
I don't
hours, you know?
like if they began harming Madeline at 11 at night on the 25th. That is the offense start date. And if she passed away at 1 or 2, that is going to be leading into it and is going to be different than time of death, but the offense date is going to be the 25th.
Okay. That makes sense. Absolutely. Okay, so that could explain that. Okay. We'll continue on. I
Yeah.
want to talk about some of these. I want to get you guys interpretation of the blood and stuff. So I'll play this for a minute. I'm going to drop the link too if anybody wants to come up. Is when they're saying the death occurred, which is important. That means it would be the night before. This is a laboratory report that was done April 10th of 2024. And we're going to go down. Okay. It says this report references evidence submitted to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement on March 13th, 2024 by Jamie Jung. The report contains conclusions, opinions, and or interpretations made by the author. It tells us the evidence, the FDL, and the agency. So it says item number, exhibit number. Okay, the exhibit's going to be for court, the longer set of numbers there. And then what we need to pay attention to is like item 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.1, 8.29. Okay. Titanium, I am not interested in more bunnies. I have Basil and he is plenty for me. He is very spoiled. I don't think he would get along with other bunnies. Hey, Heo.
Hey. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Finish your sentence.
Okay, I was just telling her that I'm not interested in any more bunnies right now. My house isn't big enough, but thank you for asking.
Okay.
All right,
I got stuff. I got stuff I want to share.
Okay.
Okay. Listen to what I'm saying, okay?
Okay.
So this comes directly from the documents that we get off of the FOIA. Okay? And during the course of the investigation where they discovered, okay, I'm just going to read you what this says. It's only one word is redacted, so if I stumble over my words, just bear with me.
Okay.
After Stephan was arrested, Stephan's father, who resides in Northport, maybe, Florida, contacted the Northport Police Department in reference to him wanting to hand over one of Stephan's computer towers he found while cleaning out Stephan's old room. Stephan's father was in fear that the computer tower may potentially have more videos and photos of unlawful sexual activity with minors on it. Northport Police Department submitted the CyberPower PC tower into their evidence, which was later transferred to the police department pending a search warrant. A lawful search warrant was conducted on the tower computer by agent whoever, and was discovered that the tower computer was missing the hard drive. So even though Chris stated he observed Stephan using the computer on 2/24, 2 days before Madeline's death. On April 11th of 2024, they were notified by Chris that he had located a hard drive, which would be used in a tower computer, a black USB drive and a silver USB drive. The hard drive was located in a storage unit, which Chris has control over. However, it was missing a key to the lock on the unit. Let it be known, Stephan was in the area of 1001 Executive Drive, Northport, Florida, in the early morning hours of 2/28/2024. This is the location of Chris's storage unit. The USBs were located in Stephan's bedroom that Chris was cleaning. The above items were located in the storage unit. They were collected by Northport, because I can't speak English, Police Department and transferred to the police department on 4/12 of 2024. So based on the okay, I don't want to say that, the words there. Images and videos of children, not only the victim, but other children, were discovered in the case, obviously, on the cell phone and the Google content. And then the search warrant was requested for the unit. And those pictures that we saw, it doesn't say, but it does say that all the digital content belonging to Stephan Stearns, including the downloaded materials, the emails, the videos, the photographs, contacts, and downloaded applications, were located inside of a storage unit with all of those things. Now, I'm still searching to see where it says exactly that storage unit was the this, that, or the other. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, it says an off-site computer was found with all of these things and these items and this evidence in it. So they did a search and a seizure, and they analyzed it right there as evidence and put it into the FOIA. So I will keep looking, but that's just what I found on the offset of what we got so far. So just FYI.
Okay, thank you for that. So you would think it's showing that, like, since they said they photographed it and took the evidence, do you think that that's the pictures they took photographing it and showing the evidence?
So it's just hard to say because I'm not
Right.
well versed enough. So, and then a lot of people, a lot of people are saying, oh no, that's just the storage unit of the office. But if you look online at that address, they have an office. So I don't, you can look it up, and they have an office there. So
Let's check
you
it.
guys tell me. I'm too new to the case, so we're sleuthing, right? Is it or is it not?
I think the probability is very high that it's the storage unit.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking it is too, but to be fair, it could be like where they're taking pictures because they pulled the videos. Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up.
Yes, that's exactly true. That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, yeah, it very well could be that they have, maybe the office can't hold all of that stuff and they need to put all of their internet things out into one of their, into one of their units next to their main office. I don't know. So it could be that, yeah, okay, they're taking pictures to say, this is the camera that was recording Stefan when he went into this unit, if he indeed did. But they're saying that he didn't even have a key to it and the key was lost. So is it lost? Was he there or was he not? We may not know until the
Right.
trial what they know for sure. But, in a lot of this stuff, you can piece it together. It's just, common sense of 5,000 pages of documents. Let's piece it all together. Where can we find what they have an office in their home. They did an interview from the office for another channel. Thank you, Dr. Sue.
Okay, what is
You're saying the storage unit has an office in their home? Is that what you're saying? Let me look that up. I'll give you that address.
It was let's see. I might find it this way.
1001 Executive Drive, Northport, Florida.
Okay.
That's the location of Chris's storage unit.
We'll just search
the
it
mark
like
of truth. What are you saying? My mom, Chris Bloom, and her husband, Robert, have an office and they run things out of their house. They've pushed me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about all of that. Mark of truth. You're having a terrible time of it.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Dad, Chris Stearns, was the handler out of storage unit. Stephen Stearns was. Yeah, I got that. I wouldn't call him a star.
Yeah.
Bellis, you better quit. You're going to get a spanking.
That one doesn't show me pictures. Hold on. I'll pull that back up. Abellis, you better stop it. Abellis just gifted 20 memberships. Thank you so much for gifting memberships. I really appreciate that. If you guys were gifted a membership from Abellis, please tell her thank you, and I'll play our clip real quick. Make me feel like. Thank you so much, Abellis. That was super sweet. If you were gifted a membership from Abellis, please tell her thank you. Thank you for being so supportive. I really appreciate that.
Hi, Robert. Nice to see you.
Hey, Robert Ramada. It's good to see you. Trying to see if we can see the pictures. Like, it likes to put it on this little itty bitty screen for me.
I'm in your
it appears
chat if you want to pull it up too in your present chat.
Oh, okay. I'm probably going to get you to pull it up.
Just to see if we
Maybe. Let me take mine out and see if it'll show up. Yep, there you are. I had to take mine out. Hold on. Because your
Okay,
computer's like way back. Okay.
Well, I got a gaming computer. Okay, so this looks like 3603. This is the interior units. I don't know anything about this place. I'm just pulling it up off of MapQuest. There's 10 pictures, so we'll go through them. This is the entrance right here. I can't.
Yeah, so that it would seem that would be where their offices, where their computers and stuff would be. Yeah.
So they have an office inside there. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that that's where. I'm not saying that they couldn't, maybe have that back storage unit maybe right here, and that's where they're putting all of their stuff in. I promise you guys, I will do my due diligence and I will investigate this no matter what I have to do. So I will find out just to make sure, because I'd rather be factual than us putting out information that we
Right.
don't know. Because if indeed he literally has a business of CSAM material that he's, in the storage unit, like selling stuff and doing stuff, right out of that unit, I definitely think that's huge, and it's something that we need to know if it's factual or not. So I will do it is a promise, Abellis. I will do my due diligence and get back in touch.
Yeah,
I
thank
wonder if
you.
it's part of a ring.
A lot
You
of
know?
people have said
Oh,
that. And I'm thinking,
No.
even if they were like, okay, so they're gonna pull where he's coming into the facility from the office, like from that office. Okay. So for them to have pictured that unit and have the pictures in the FOIA request, I'm thinking it's gotta be related to Stephen Stearns, right? Because if it was like where they're pulling camera footage of him coming into the facility or exiting the facility, it would be pictures of inside that office. Like, even if that is an office for the storage unit, it's just going to be what opens and closes the gates. And there's no reason for that to be in the FOIA request related to this case. You know what I mean? Especially considering that there's no pictures from the office where they would have pulled information of him on the cameras coming in and out. So if I had to guess, I would say it's definitely, I would think it is. I would
So
think it is.
Linda Glover in your chat, she says that the storage unit we see is for the storage business surveillance, and anything for the upkeep systems. The computers are for the cameras. We did not see Chris Stern's storage unit. And that's fine, Linda. I just want to verify the information because I want to make sure. I mean, they put a lot of pictures in the FOIA, so I just want to verify where that information comes from. So share it with me. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that it's not that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I-
yeah, for sure. But yeah, Linda Glover's really smart. I've shared some of her
Yeah.
comments before.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, let me know how you know that. I would love if we need to verify it. So let me know how you know that.
Yeah, the word storage is in here 150 times, so I'm searching it. I promise.
I could
Buy
call him
something.
at some point and just ask.
Do that too.
You
I
know,
don't.
I might could.
The description location of the premises to be searched is as follows: life storage. There's the address, a single story, this, that, and the other. Business is yellow in color. Directions to the business. Grounds for issuance. The following grounds for issuance of a search warrant as required by Florida statutes exist to it. The evidence sought in relevance to the case would be what? What's the probable cause?
That they went there because they had him there and they thought they stored that he put Maddie there. I remember reading that in one of the documents. They thought Maddie
Oh
was
gosh.
there. They went inside and found that she wasn't.
Oh gosh.
And they took photographs of the unit, they say. So that's why I think that's the unit.
Looks like, yeah, and I haven't read through all of this, so if that's what it is, that's what it is.
Rosemary said Chris Stearns got a call from the rental manager saying his lock was not on properly, so he went to check, and Stephen Stearns must have stolen a spare key a year before. Watch Plunder. Okay, Plunder might have some information.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Bye, Nolly. Have a good day, love. Plunder might have some more information on that. I don't want to stream her, but I'll definitely check that too and see what she says about it.
Thank you, Rosemary.
She might have some more information on it.
It's always good because the people that have been in the community longer on this actual case itself, know a little bit more information on that. That's totally fine.
Right.
That's why we do what we do, so somebody can tell me where this is and how to find it. And I'm like, because some people say, "Take me at my word," and I do. Show me where you got your word.
Yeah, that, I'm very much about validating
sources.
Yeah, we got to be having some sources over here, even though we're allegedly speculating. Okay, I'm going to pull back up this video and we'll continue going over that. Hio, don't like stress yourself out trying to find it. We'll find it eventually. Hio and I share all our documents, so she has everything I have.
I just want to make sure we're putting out stuff that's factual, because I don't want people to think that we, yes, we speculate, but then sometimes, I've heard it said before, people only go through, if they're just going through stuff, only go through 17 or 18 minutes of a live, right? That's average. If they're not sitting down to watch something, or on a replay, they may be going to sleep and listening or whatever. But if you're only listening to 17 minutes, and the 17 minutes of it you heard was, we put out that this storage unit was this, that, and the other, but you didn't hear the other 20 minutes of where we said, but we're not sure. Let's look it up. Let's find it. And then the chat said, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just careful on that. I want to make sure that we're putting out factual information, even though we're speculating. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Bye, Nelly.
Okay. I'm going to play this and read some of your comments. I'm sorry. It's hard to keep up with all the comments and everything on a live when I'm live and there's a lot of people in here. So please know that I am reading your comments and I'm trying my best. All right. I'm going to play this. So the description for item number 3 is buccal swabs represented as being from Stephans Stearns. 4 is a member swab represented as being from Stephans Stearns. 5 is a DNA card represented as being from Maddie. 6 is left fingernail clippings represented as being from Maddie. 7 is right fingernail clippings represented as being from Maddie. 8 is neck swabs represented as being from Maddie. 8.1 left neck swabs. 8.2 right neck swabs. 9 is a right hand swab represented as being from Maddie. 10 is a left hand swab represented as being from Maddie. 11 is the backdoor hole swab represented as being from Maddie. It says rectal. I just have to be careful about what I say, especially in the videos. The number 12 is the front door swab represented as being from Maddie. 12.1 is hair. 13 is chest, or I'll say boob swabs represented as being from Maddie. 14 is oral swabs represented as being from Maddie. Okay, this is page 104. Now we're going to scroll down. It tells us the file number of the submission. It says item number 3, buccal swabs represented as being from Stephans Stearns. Item number 5, DNA card represented as being from Maddie. Complete DNA profiles were obtained from item 3 and 5, excuse me. So that means they got DNA profile of Stephan from his buccal swabs, and they got a DNA profile of Maddie from her DNA card represented as being from her. Item number 4 is a member swab represented as being from Stephans Stearns. They say Stephans Stearns item number 3 is expected to be a donor to item number 4. No DNA results foreign to Stephans Stearns were obtained from item number 4. So they're saying item number 3, which was the buccal swab, is expected to be a donor of the DNA that they got from the member swabs. And that from those 2 swabs, they didn't get any DNA that was foreign to Stephan, which they wouldn't. Okay, so that means that Stephan, and somebody pointed out to me in yesterday's live, Stephan changed clothes 3 times that day. So he probably definitely took a shower and would have washed her DNA off of him, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
As bad as that sounds. All right. They're his buccal swabs and his member swab, okay? Item number 6 is left fingernail clippings represented as being from Madeline. They said using a color change test, item 6 failed to give chemical indications for the presence of blood. So that means under Maddie's left fingernail, the clippings that they got from them, there was no blood. Okay. This is marked out. I don't know what it is. And it says item number 5. What I would assume Maddie, but I'm not sure. It says item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 6. No DNA results foreign from Maddie were obtained from item number 6. So they're saying Maddie's DNA card is expected to be a donor to the DNA of her left fingernail clippings, and no DNA that was foreign from Maddie was found in those two places. Item number 7 is right fingernail clippings represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item number 7 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. That means there was blood under her right fingernail clippings. It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 7. No DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 7. Okay, so item number 5 was the DNA card represented as being. Okay, so Maddie's blood was under her right hand, and we talked about that yesterday. My issue is going to be what I want to talk to y'all about is going to be after I think it's the next Maddie, one. And they're saying that no DNA results foreign from Maddie were obtained from item number 7, so we're going to assume it was her blood. Item 8.1 is a left neck swab as represented as being from Maddie, and item 8.2 is a right neck swab represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 8.1 and 8.2 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. That means there was blood around her neck. It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item 8.1 and 8.2. No DNA results foreign to Maddie. Okay. So how is her blood around her neck? Someone told me that like after she's deceased, she wouldn't be bleeding. So how is her blood around her neck? Does anybody have any ideas on that?
Yeah. With strangulation.
What's your idea?
With strangulation, even if it's manual, there can be where, you know how you get almost like a rug burn and then it'll start to open when someone is pulling on your skin? So that can cause it to bleed. And if anything else is used, especially if it's thinner, then that will also cause you to bleed around that part of the neck while you are being killed.
Strangled, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and not to mention, like Dr. Seuss said, dog collar, maybe? I don't know anything about that.
I mean, blood doesn't flow after death, but it can also be deep enough that there is blood around it just because of how deep it is.
Right. Because I was thinking yesterday, if he used the dog leash to hold up her neck while he was driving, then the leash rubbing could have made marks, but she would have been deceased at that time. So technically there wouldn't be blood. I mean, I'm sure it would have ripped the skin because, I mean, her whole body weight's on her neck flopping around in the car unless rigor mortis is set in. And, but it wouldn't cause blood to pool. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just don't know a lot about this part. So I'm like, I'm going to mute for a second. That's triggering me. I had no fucking idea. I just didn't know.
It wouldn't cause it to pool, but it could, due to the skin slippage, especially, it could pull it open to a point where blood is visible due to the body's structure, but it isn't actively bleeding.
Okay.
Kind of like how, I mean, in funeral homes, they have to drain. So it's not that there's no blood in you. It's just that it's not flowing.
Right.
And obviously with pooling, it's not necessarily going to be right there. But if they had Madeline on her back during or right after her death, it would also lead to some more pooling in the neck area because of the lividity in it.
Right.
Yeah.
And she would have either been on her, I mean, I'm assuming on her back or on her stomach. So either way, it would have caused, because she's.
I'm only going to interrupt long enough to say, Toxic, congratulations on your membership.
Yes, you finally got one. Finally.
I know you're in the hospital recovering, Godspeed, but congratulations on your membership.
something could have scratched her. See that Titanium I am says something could have scratched her neck when he dumped her or went to move her. And that goes back to what I was thinking yesterday, that like if he was using the dog leash to hold her up in that car. And again, I just can't get back past the like rigor mortis. So that would mean it had to have been the early morning of the 26th, because like she's in the car, but then they say she stays the same way slumped over the center console, so that means rigor mortis could have technically set in. But back to the dog collar thing, if he's using that to hold her up while he's driving around, I'm thinking her body's just kind of flopping around or whatever, and so I'm thinking the dog leash might have like ripped her neck or scratched her neck and made her bleed. But then
Absolutely.
you don't bleed after death, so would it be just like pulling or something, or was it actually blood, or was it just like where skin slippage kind of happened and it ripped open? It's kind of, I'm
As
not trying to be
someone-
graphic.
As
but-
someone who's worked with cadavers, not in tons of ways, but in some medically, so you can see the blood even if it's dried. I would say like for if it's a scientific purpose and you're in formaldehyde or something like that, you can see where that blood is in context with other parts of the body, or where it kind of was if things have been done before it. So just having skin slippage that then is cut, you're going to get a swab of blood. Now that blood isn't going to be pouring out. However, it is going to show signs of blood because that's where you're at in the body.
Right. Okay.
Just going through, like, especially just like the epidermis. But if you go through the dermis and into even more like fatty and the muscular tissue, then especially because people wouldn't normally have that because people would be trying to adjust themselves.
Right.
But if that's what's holding a person up partially, no resistance is going to be placed against any of that.
Right.
That's cutting it.
Right. So it's just going to be like cutting into her skin because she's not going to be
Yeah.
stopping it. Yeah.
And I mean, rigor may have only begun to start in, or it may have been halfway through, and then gravity pulled her down a bit into more of a slumped position.
Yeah.
And that's when rigor was really setting in.
Because, okay, and then I know she was placed in the fetal position. I think on her left side was where they found her eventually, but, and
That
see,
makes sense.
yeah, but I again, like, okay, if rigor mortis had set in, she's already almost in the fetal position in the car, laying kind of to her left. So it could have set in and he could have pulled her out of the car and just laid her in the grass, how they found her on her left side, kind of in the fetal position.
Absolutely.
And I wish I could I want to know if her body was moving in the car or if it stayed. And I think they say it stays in the pretty much exact location it is. Because if I knew if her body was moving in the car, then that would tell me more about the time of death as far as rigor mortis comes in, or if the blood on her neck could be from the leash, scratching it, like, digging in basically. Thank you for your input because you seem to know a lot about it. And thank you for that.
No, I appreciate being on here. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're giving me more insight to this and I really appreciate it. That is not Basil meowing. Basil's at the end of the bed. He was eating a piece of cheese earlier. I think that's that's Werewolf's cat.
Yep. Hey,
Oh, how
Telly.
sweet. Okay, I'll continue playing this. Let me see what else I've got. Oh, were obtained from item 8.1 and 8.2. So item number 5 again is the DNA card represented as being from Maddie. It says that that's expected to be a donor to item 8.1 and 8.2. I don't know if they mean like her neck, like obviously it's her neck, right? When they go back saying it's a donor to Item number 7, like it's her fingernail clippings, not necessarily what was under them came from her. I'm not sure how to read that. You guys can let me know. But anyway, going back to that, it said it gave the chemical indications for the presence of blood. And then it says no DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from items 8.1 and 8.2, which would be, I assume, her neck. So maybe it was her blood on her neck. Item number 9, right hand swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item number 9 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 9. DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 9. Due to the limited nature of these results, the data is not interpretable. So that's saying item number 5 was a donor to her right hand, and DNA results that were not Maddie's were obtained from her right hand swab. Okay.
And I do have a theory about that one, but we can go back to it.
No, yeah, I was just going to ask you because, like, if it was Stephans' DNA, would they not say that item number, what was it, 3, was a donor? Like, basically, Stephan was a donor to that DNA?
So basically, what they have is they have a partial mixture, and the DNA isn't full enough for them to be able to replicate it millions of times in order to ensure that that is Stephan Stearns. However, one of the things that could have been done is placing her hands or into something like peroxide or something where it dissolved part of that mixture, but it didn't do everything, or cleaning it, and especially with like a nail brush. So that's something that can happen. Or it could be simply, this just is not enough DNA. However, they may be able to do a partial later on if they go for further testing. This is just the first testing.
Right. Okay.
And the mixture could be Jen, or it could be someone else who was there that night. We don't know who else could have been there. We don't know if anybody else was involved. There is that small possibility, but there's also Jen or Potato.
Yeah. I was trying so hard to figure out who the other DNA mixture was, but I guess we won't know. Rosemarie said Chris Stearns, also Stephan, must have remembered the punch code for the main gate of the storage facility when he had helped him a year earlier. It's possible. Toxic said, but if she's also sloughing skin, she was deceased longer than a couple of hours. That goes back to skin slippage. So when does skin slippage start? Immediately or after a while?
It's usually by mid, I think, rigor mortis, but I would have to check. Skin slippage is basically, your body isn't moving, but your skin can slip and everything now. Kind of like with elderly people and things like degloving, it's going to be a little bit like that.
Okay. But we don't know.
We don't know that exact time.
Right.
Because we don't know. Yeah.
Even without skin slippage, if that leash is the only thing holding her up and she's not, and unfortunately she wasn't alive, so she's not going to stop herself when it hurts or it's rubbing her neck. It's just going to dig in. And so even if there wasn't skin slippage, the leash still could be a reason. But I would think they would also put marks in here, but this is just DNA results, so it's not the actual report, so they wouldn't have put there was marks on her neck.
And this may be a page, and they have an entirely separate file that they're keeping hidden.
Right.
For trial purposes.
Yep. Okay, we'll finish this, or I'll keep playing it. I think we're going to finish this video today, and we'll finish the 300-mile drive one, and see what else we can do today. I do want to let you know, while there's people in here, that I won't be live tomorrow because I have my doctor's appointment today, so I have to go do stuff tomorrow. I have to go get my medicine and stuff. I did talk to them about being sick. She called me in something for that. So tomorrow I won't be live, but I'll be back on Wednesday. Just by the way.
Hope you're doing better.
Oh, thank you.
Soon.
I am actually. Yeah, I'm doing a lot better than I was. My chest is still full of some nasty stuff, but I've been
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever heard, but like if you take natural garlic, like organic
Mhm.
natural garlic, and put it in honey and cover it with honey, and you let it sit for a month, and then you have like the garlic juice will come out into the honey, and that's a natural antibiotic. So I've been eating like 3 garlic cloves a day out of the honey, or you could take a spoonful of honey, but I don't like honey, so I eat the garlic cloves. And then
Yeah.
I have mullein and horehound, and I've been making tea out of those, which are natural expectorants, so they make me cough that nastiness up, so it's coming
Yep.
out. So
I'm glad to hear that.
So somebody else's DNA was on her right hand. Item number 10 is left hand swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 10 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. So there was blood on her left hand, and going back to the right hand, there was blood on her right hand as well. I don't know if I said that. I apologize if I did.
And
So
that
to
could be
item
also
number 10,
from
again,
trying
left
to
hand swabs
grab
represented as being
that.
from Maddie. Using a
Sorry.
color change test, item
I am
number so sorry, love. Say that again.
I'm so sorry. I interrupted you because I just thought of something. You keep going.
No, you're good. No,
That
go ahead.
could be under her fingernails. She could actually have her own DNA and skin because she was being strangled and trying to get it off. So then there could be cuts from her own fingernails where there was blood in addition to anything else or exclusive of anything else.
Right. And they say that her blood is located at her private area. So I also thought that maybe, like if she had started her cycle, sometimes you'll get
Yep.
blood under your fingernails when you're switching out your utensils that you use and things. So I was thinking maybe
Oh
that
yeah,
could
that
be
is very possible. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then the scratching, I mean, because like I would assume she fought back as far as being strangled, because they do say that's the cause of death. So it's either one at this point. I'm trying to figure out if I mean, if she, and I'm assuming that I'm not trying to again be graphic, but I'm assuming she started her cycle. What if she didn't? Why would there be blood in those areas, but no DNA from Stephan in those areas, I think. And we'll get there in just a second. I don't remember what that says now.
If I remember correctly, kind of like how if you pass away and you're pregnant, the child is like expelled after a certain amount of time.
Oh yeah,
it could be
right.
something like that.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right about that. I didn't even think about that. Because that's, yeah, I don't want to get graphic again, but I didn't even know that happened until the Savannah Soto case.
Yeah.
And yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I learned that, I think, in the Watts case.
Well, okay, so we're talking about the chance that she might have been pregnant for less than 6 weeks. Is that what we're saying? When you were talking about it,
they have not started their cycle, and
so the chances that she'll expel it after after hers or the fetus's death is very slim.
Oh, without it being. So
yeah, it's not significantly. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it's they don't have. I don't want to be graphic. It's just not. It's not very likely for the. In later stages of pregnancy, after death, the process is called a coffin birth, and we know what all that is. Everybody can look that up. But under 6 weeks, the small size of the embryo, in the stage of the pregnancy, there's like not enough uterine changes in order to make it to cause an expulsion. Likely. I'm not saying it is, but just.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying a possibility, not necessarily that's what it is.
Mooning, what do you do? I guess I forgot to ask that. Is that okay? Can I ask you that question?
Yeah. So I do a lot of social work, and have also done a lot of medical work and volunteering.
I appreciate you coming up and hanging out with us today. You've been pretty good.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me.
Pretty good to have you.
Yeah, you know a lot about this, and that's what I need because I need to understand this because it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, no,
Tanya, actually, we will not know like the true nature of the autopsy results, the evidence of like abdominal abuse, the pregnancy, the if there is any such a thing, if she was if it was menstrual blood versus any other kind of blood beneath the fingernails. There are some things they're just not going to tell us. They're not going to tell us because they need to have an airtight case in order to lock this man away for life and
And
then
also,
decide whether or not they're going
oh yeah,
to do the same for Jen. So,
I mean, the blood could also be from the abuse.
oh yeah, it could be
Yeah.
from a lot of different things. Yeah, for sure.
Abellis, he was chewing paper. That's what you heard. Sorry, y'all heard Basil chewing paper.
Ladies, I am going to jump down and go and start dinner for the family. This is what I call my my Monday where I have to do all of my makeshift food for the week because people are going to be hungry. It has been so exciting to be up here and have a conversation with everybody here and the over 350 people that we had in chat. So I really do appreciate you, allegedly.
Yeah, thank
Miss
you.
Werewolves. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you, chat.
You
You
as
guys
well.
have a wonderful rest of your day.
You
Okay,
too.
yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, werewolves. I'm
Oh
so
no,
sorry.
you're fine. I interrupt me as much as you want because I have a tendency to do the same.
Okay, so we'll keep going. Number 10 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. The DNA results obtained from item number 10 demonstrated the presence of a mixture. Is blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item 10 and is observed in the mixture. DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 10. Due to the limited nature of these results, the data is not interpretable. Continuing on. Okay, so what does that mean? Does that means there's basically not enough DNA for them to test?
Right. At least by that method. There is another type to do it, but it is a little bit less accurate. I would say it's pretty accurate, but that would have to go on for further testing.
Okay. Thank you. Item number 11 is RECTAL or backdoor swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item number 11 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. Possible hairs were observed on item number 11, but were not removed or examined. So there was possible hairs on the backdoor swab. Okay, what does that mean? Does that mean that they were attached to her, or?
The hairs would be, if they're observing it, then that's not going to be her own or attached, at least. My thought is that that is going to be something else. And thankfully, we now have technology that can take from a hair sample without the follicle. But that's also something you have to send out for further testing, usually, depending on the lab.
Okay.
It is very surprising that his DNA isn't in much at all. It would almost lead me to believe that he was using objects instead.
Or the blue gloves that were everywhere, but like that that would indicate premeditation.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was blood. It's blacked out. Item number 5 is expected to be a double. Or did you want to say something, honey?
Oh, I was just going to say, that means that there are injuries. So, like, it doesn't mean that nothing happened. It's just they don't have that. And even sometimes with regular reproductive, just like safety mechanisms, I'm just going to say, that can keep from like depositing enough to like actually test.
So what do you mean? I mean, okay.
Like if he's wearing basically a condom, then
Mhm.
that can keep at least enough from being be able to be testable. Like
Okay.
there isn't enough of his donor.
Okay. But it would there be in blood in those areas? It wouldn't
Yes.
be like because she started her period, it would be from abuse?
I mean, especially rectal, that's going to be almost 100% abuse for a 12 or 13-year-old. And then for vaginal, that is going to be either. And that's why you have to look at things like the tissue inside and see if there's damage or if it's from a menstrual cycle.
Right. So you don't think, like, let's say that she, and I'm not trying to be graphic, but like she was
No,
on her period and she was using a pad or something, okay? And you know how
it could
sometimes
be.
Okay.
That could be, but it could also be something else or both.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I didn't think she was bleeding from the rectal area, but I was thinking that maybe it traveled to that area. But I mean, and somebody said you would think that they would have notated it as something else. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Being particularly there, I would say that is sign of abuse. Because usually they would say something like, I'm just going to say like staining or like something that is like a drippage kind of thing. Many people would distinguish between that, but that may not be what's in this initial report. So it could be that.
Okay.
There are several possibilities. I mean, it's Schrodinger's cat right now.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Linda said if Stephan was using the storage unit to conduct his CSAM, would he be in Kissimmee so much? Okay, so to that, I would say not necessarily using the storage unit to conduct the CSAM, but maybe manufacture, once he had already done the abuse, manufacture and distribute from the storage facility. And we know he was living with his parents during the last 3 months. I don't know how much he traveled back and forth, so it would be hard for me to say, like, if I knew how many times he traveled back and forth. But we know it was a lot because he helped his parents out a lot, supposedly. So I would think that he would have traveled back and forth. And if he had that set up somewhere else closer to Kissimmee, the fact that he had moved back for the past 3 months, he would have probably moved his manufacture and distribute equipment closer to him, would be my thought on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also, if I remember right, didn't both Potato and his parents say, like, sometimes we didn't even know where he was, like, and where he was staying? There's a possibility he could have been staying at that unit.
Yeah, there is a possibility. That is a possible speculation. Okay. Donor to item number 11. That means that there was I'm assuming it's Maddie's DNA or Maddie's rectal swab, I would guess. No DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 11. Item number 12 is front door or vaginal swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 12 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. It's blacked out. Okay, that was the front door. Paula Jones said, I wonder if scent dogs were taken to that storage unit. And yes, they were, because they talk about it in the homicide indictment. They used scent dogs to search the storage unit. They actually hit on something, but she wasn't inside the storage unit. And that made me think that he had visited her body or something, or been around her body before he came to the storage unit. But then seeing a map of how far they are apart, I don't know. Jennifer said, I don't know why Jim would insist Maddie came home. She's the one who made that decision. It's always been weird to me. I've heard that somewhere, but I need to locate it so we can validate it.
I would think, even if he just had his same shoes on, that could do
Yeah.
that. I'm just not
Yeah.
sure of all of his clothing changes.
Right. Now, item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 12. No DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 12. So that means there was blood, but it was hers. And again, on the back door, there was blood, but it was hers. Item number 12.1 is a hair collected from the vaginal swabs or the front door swabs. A possible hair observed on item number 12 was examined using microscopy. However, this hair was not suitable for STR DNA analysis and was returned to the original package. Another Okay, so what do you think about that? There just wasn't enough DNA on the hair?
Yeah, so let me look, because STR analysis, I have to look and see if that's the analysis I was thinking of.
It tells it says at the end, the base ST, well, I can't read it because the red line's in front of it.
If it's a base, that could be follicle, and then there's another type of analysis for if it's just a hair without a follicle. So I just want to see what kinds of tests there are.
Okay. I'll keep playing it. It talks about what it is at the end. It goes over that, so we'll see.
Sure.
Possible hair was observed on item number 12, but was not removed or examined. Item number 13 is chest or BREAST, boob swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 13 failed to give chemical indications for the presence of blood. There was no blood on her chest. The DNA results obtained from item number 13 demonstrate the presence of a mixture. So there's a mixture of DNA on her chest.
Okay.
It's blacked out. So what do you think about that? Like, it's not blood. Do you think it's like transfer DNA from where somebody might have been carrying her? But I would think she had clothes on, so that doesn't necessarily mean that she would have DNA on her chest. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just thinking about common sexual practices,
yeah,
and the area of something to clean it, there's a larger possibility if that kind of thing happened. If hopefully people know what I mean. I don't want to be too graphic with it.
Yeah, I was trying to say that yesterday. Like, it would either be that, or I was thinking and kind of hoping that it was like where somebody might have put her over their shoulder and took her like to the car, but then she would have clothes on by then. So maybe, but if he picked her up and she didn't have clothes on and then dressed her, that could be a possible transfer too. Or the other thing. And I mean, if you guys think about it, you'll know what we're saying. And I don't want to, God, I hope not.
There are a few other things that it could be Jen. And it could also even be if, like, I can think of several reasons, but it's all going to be pretty kind of graphic. If in order to make her look more alive, someone had kind of her face and a little bit of her upper body, like placed makeup or something there. I know it doesn't say it, but sometimes it can be just like a tinted moisturizer. There's a possibility that using that would be more than transfer DNA, or there's a possibility of something like a lubricant or something else. And they wiped it off, but they did not do as good of a job. I would say I lean more towards a lubricant, but
Right. I'm sorry, Rosemary, that you ever had to go through that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I've worked with, I've been a patient of sane nurses and things, and it is very difficult. And for anybody who's had to go through that, I'm very sorry that you were forced into that position.
Yeah. I am so sorry. Number 5 is expected to be a donor similar to item number 13 and is observed in the mixture. So her DNA is in part of the mixture. The DNA results foreign to Madeline were obtained from item number 13. Due to the limited nature of these results, this data is not interpretable. Item number 14, oral swabs represented as being from Maddie. Using a color change test, item 14 gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. There was blood in her mouth. It's blacked out. So, and that ends up saying that it was her blood. What are your thoughts on that? I'm sorry to keep asking you. You just got me really interested because you know this stuff.
Her blood, that makes sense because of the asphyxiation. And with her vomit also, there can be spontaneous vomiting right before death. Okay. So the blood and everything, that could be from her with that. Or it does say there's multiple bruises and injuries. So it could be that something was lacerated or punctured, and that was also happening while she was being asphyxiated, etc. That,
okay.
Because a lot of people who have lived through that, you're going to have some blood there, depending on who you are and depending on what's happened. Right. As well as things like the broken blood vessels or petechiae, and and that's not always even present, or things like in your eyes, different things like that. There's tons of different ways that it can cause injury and even collapse, and even a breaking of the hyoid bone could have punctured something and then created blood that was produced in her throat.
Yeah.
Now that's not likely at all, but that's, any kind of injury has the possibility to have a bone or something poke through or lacerate.
Yeah. Okay. You said bruising and lacerations. Do you know, like, did you hear that somewhere, or did you get that from this report? Where did you get that?
The lacerations would be around her neck at first, and then there may be other lacerations I don't remember. Bruising, okay. I remember there being something about bruising, but I don't remember where I got it from. It might have been plunder.
Okay. I need to check her out.
Yeah, I do remember there being something about bruising because of like something consistent with wounds where you would be fighting.
Right.
Like a self-protection. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But I don't know where that bruising is.
Yeah,
except for
I'm
likely
sure
around the throat.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and if Plunder put it out, I would trust that. I need to watch some of her videos on this. She's super sweet. Like, she's talked to Hio. We need to get together. I need to see if she has this and what she thinks about it. But I need to watch some of her videos on that too and see what we can figure out together, maybe.
Yeah, she's very, very good. I really like her videos. I think it's awesome.
Me too. She does a really good job.
She does.
Lisa Ingold, I like the way your name is written, said, I think if she was pregnant, Florida would definitely charge for her being pregnant. I wonder if she thought she was too, though, given the new parent coin. I think the new parent coin thing is definitely telling. I've heard a lot of people say that Florida would charge him if she was with child, but everything I could find says the child has to be viable outside of the womb in order for him to be charged with another homicide if she was with child. Grizzly's really good too, by the way. Thank you, Emma.
Oh yeah, they are. So there is one though for unlawful termination of a pregnancy instead.
Okay.
And so that could be one that they would charge if she was pregnant.
Okay.
And that's for those who are not viable yet. Oh my God, I'm sorry. My cat just...
No, you're good. You're fine.
So yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah, and when we tried to look it up, I pulled that up and it talked about unlawful termination of a pregnancy, but I didn't really understand what it was saying. So then, yeah, if she was with child, he would have some kind of other charge. So that tells me she probably wasn't. And
Yeah,
then,
because she would also have DNA inside, like, of the fetus, so that would have to belong to him.
right. Yep.
Unless she was pregnant by someone else.
Yeah, and
Or abused by someone else. I mean, it could have been I hate to say it like this, but like a last hurrah type thing. Where it's like, she's getting too old, we're worried about it.
yeah.
At some point, we're just going to do whatever, and then it's going to be done.
Yeah, it's a
And
possible
that's a
speculation.
possibility. I'm not saying that's what happened, just throwing it out there.
No, yeah, it's a possible speculation, and people have said it. I tend to lean towards more like judging by what Stephans said, how much he cared for Maddie and loved her, and judging by the dynamic, I tend to think that it was more like Jen was mother bear to them too, and they were in love, or not they were in love, but Stephan was in
Yeah.
love with Madeline, and Madeline was groomed and abused to think she was in love with Stephan too. So that tends to be my thinking, but there is a lot of speculation on that she aged out, and I'll leave that at that. And that
As
would
someone
make
who suffered from that,
oh
there
my god,
is a very, very distinct age out.
yeah,
And it is almost immediate upon the person seeing you again. For mine, I was about 12, and it was immediate. When they saw me again, they commented on, I'm just going to say, me going into adolescence and those attributes, and then there was nothing ever again.
oh wow, and I'm
So
sorry you had to go through that.
It's fun. I've had several weird experiences, but it's also helped inform me of things. So, like, those kinds of things are pretty much snap, or at least can be, not all cases, but especially given Madeline's appearance, sorry. I know that she preferred Madeline. Like, that would be a heavy indicator.
Yeah.
At least to me. If he was not, if he's a pedophile instead of an ephebophile, but pedophile can go into early stages of adolescence.
Yeah. But I mean, again, going to that age out thing, he started when she was like 6 or 8. So,
yeah,
I mean, judging by that, the time frame, I mean, again, is a possible speculation because, if you start with 6 to 8, that would mean psychologically with your paraphilia, you like them younger. So, it's definitely possible.
I mean, that's 6 whole years of grooming. And that's something that, I hate to say it like this, but like, he would invest in because he would have that length of time and be able to take so much from her.
Right.
And also possibly profit off of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, all the images, there was like 37,000 and 17,000, not 1,700, 17,000. Like, that's not for personal use. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are.
No.
Something else going on there. So
that is a distribution.
Yep.
Content making. No, that is, and it's fucking horrific. It's awful.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was farming that poor child for content.
Yeah. And again, I mean, it's just like, I mean, you can't tell me, like Rex Heuermann, they can pinpoint that his wife and daughter were out of the country or at least out of the state every time it happened. Okay. You can't tell me that Jen was not at home while this was happening. You can't tell me that. I'm sorry. I think she was.
Oh, that also reminds me. So Jen, she sent Madeline up there. What irritates me is that she could have been charged. Because she sent Madeline up there with where she knew a gun was in a drawer in that nightstand and it was not locked or anything. That's between a misdemeanor or it could be up to a felony, and it could be a neglect with a firearm charge. And she could have at least been like sentenced and or placed on trial for those, because she knew there's a firearm right there, and that's illegal. And illegal for you to send your child up there, and she knew exactly where it was.
So
And
is
then
that, I mean, is that an actual charge? I mean,
it
the
is.
neglect shit, yeah, but like sending your child up there where their
It
firearm
is a
is?
charge.
Really?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. I need to find that so we can prove that that's a charge in itself.
Yeah, that can be up to a federal charge depending on location and like the amount. This would not be a federal charge, I don't think. This would be a certain type of misdemeanor up to a low felony, like as a modifier.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is illegal.
So
I did look it up in Florida and it is illegal, but I can.
Let's see.
But yeah.
Okay. So what would be illegal about it? Is it illegal to own firearms in Florida? I wouldn't
No.
think so.
Having a child in a home where you know a firearm is not stored correctly is illegal. And then sending your child to be near that and going like to that room where it's going to be right next to them, that's a step further. And so you can add not just a firearm that's not stored correctly, but something that is dangerous, like neglect.
Okay.
Especially for a child who's under, a certain age.
Okay, now my next question would be, and I'm not trying to disagree with you. I'm just trying to figure it out. My next question would be, what was in? Okay, I don't need North Carolina, thank you. But it says yes in North Carolina. I know guns are here. There's some kind of thing about Florida where you can have a gun, but not outside or something. So our laws are more lax. Hold on.
No, Florida has fairly lax laws. It's just you cannot have it stored incorrectly when a child is there. Or someone who may use it.
Okay, so what is improper about the firearm? Because we saw the picture and it was in the holster.
So
it didn't have a trigger lock.
You have to have a trigger lock, and depending on the state, you also have to have a certain type of box for it. There are also times where you need to store ammunition in different boxes or away from it. I'm not sure where the ammunition was stored. However, if it was loaded, which I believe it was, but I am not exactly sure, that creates even more. Yep, that's it. Then that's a big thing. And I mean, that could be used to intimidate also and to threaten. So that also places her on huge neglect.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it could have been. I personally don't think it was. I think it was just on him and he put it there at night. This says, yes, if a firearm is stored improperly in a home in Florida and a child is near it, the gun owner can face criminal charges. Misdemeanor charges says if a minor accesses the firearm but no harm occurs, the gun owner may face misdemeanor charges. This can result in fines and potential jail time. Felony charges would be if a minor uses the firearm to cause harm or death, the charges can escalate to a felony. This can lead to significant prison time and hefty fines. The severity of the charges can increase if the minor causes injury or death. Florida statute 784.05 defines the crime as negligent storage of a loaded firearm. So that right there, because it didn't have a trigger lock on it and it was loaded, that would be the charge. Negligent storage
Yep.
of a firearm. And then accessibility of the firearm to a minor defined as any person under the age of 16 could be another charge.
That would definitely be another charge.
Yeah.
Or that would be another reason for the charge.
Right, but it would depend on if they could prove she accessed it, I would think.
Well, it's that they have the ability to access it.
Right, yeah.
All she has to do is open a drawer.
Right. And then resulting injury or death caused by the minor using the firearm wouldn't be because she didn't do that.
Not necessarily, unless they can prove that there is emotional and psychological injury that led to other abuses perpetrated by Stearns or anyone else. Because it doesn't exactly have to be the minor causing it. It could be that those two, you caused harm in other ways. It doesn't always have to be physical harm.
Right. Steph said, question, how does she know there's a gun in the drawer in a room he rarely sleeps in that's not really his room in the first place? I would say if he used it to basically make her do things, like, if it was used for some type of emotional or mental abuse to get her to do things. Unfortunately, as bad as this sounds, I personally don't think he had to. I think he had groomed her enough at that point that she was willing to do things, unless you take that particular night and say that she had already, figured out that, hey, since he had been away for 3 months and she figured out this is not right, I don't want to do this anymore, and tried to fight back. And you could somehow use that to intimidate her that night. Unfortunately, I don't think he had to before because she was groomed to that extent.
I mean, we see her language about it change and having these different feelings about it, which is absolutely normal. But if anybody were to find that or see that, or simply just get a vibe off of that, then placing a firearm there would cause more intimidation. And, it could keep her from reaching out. They could even threaten other people if she tells.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I'll continue this.
Sorry, so many rabbit trails.
Now, item number 5 is expected to be a donor to item number 14. You're fine, because I'm trying to pay attention to chat too. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm ignoring you in chat either. And I appreciate you bringing these things up, right? Because any questions y'all have, or you have, or I have, other people have those questions as well. And if we can find an explanation for these things, then, by all means, because it's going to help somebody else out in the end.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. No DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained in item number 14. So that means it was her DNA, or in her blood. It was basically her blood. The DNA profiles obtained from item number 3 and 5 have been entered into CODIS. PCR-based STR DNA analysis was performed on samples from items number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.1, 8.2, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, utilizing the Global Fiber PCR amplification kit. Why STR testing may be considered for item 6, epithelial cell fraction. 10. Did you say something?
Oh, no, I was just making a sound at my cat. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was going to tell you the YSTR testing, it says, may be considered for item 6, which is an epithelial cell fraction, 10, which is an epithelial cell fraction, and 13, which is an epithelial cell fraction. YSTR testing requires resubmission of DNA extracts. Please contact the biology section for guidance. And then it says the term sperm cell fraction and epithelial cell fraction refer to the two portions of the extract generated during a differential extraction procedure. The presence of DNA is the sperm cell fraction does not confirm the presence of seminal material or the type of cells from which the DNA originated. So what does that mean? And that's about the end of that video.
As far as I know, that means that they're able to replicate enough to find probably a DNA profile or at least a very high likelihood of someone, but it's not enough in order to determine what type of like fluid or whatever it is. Like they can't tell, is it blood, is it semen, is it, you know, epithelial cell, like that was actually made to contact. They can tell that those are the cells that they can likely extract something from, but they don't know how it was deposited.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. That makes sense. JPL, that was in room number 4. The pew was in the nightstand drawer for room number 4. This is what you had said earlier. Vomit under the bed. I don't know what that's all about. If I had to assume, I would say it's probably from the cats, like a hairball or something. But I didn't see vomit under the bed. I wonder, I mean, I'm sure if there was vomit and they thought it was something, forensics would have taken it or done something. I certainly hope so. I need to see the vomit, unfortunately. Sorry to be graphic, but I would need to see it to see if I could tell if it was looked like a hairball or like actual vomit. And if it looks like actual vomit, I would think they would take it and test it.
Nearly 6 hours.
Sorry, y'all. Okay. So we'll jump back into this. I'll finish this video and I'll have to go for the day. This is again his dad talking about the storage unit and the trip.
Drive you round trip to go to Northport to the storage unit.
Detectives think Stearns traveled to his parents' house that morning where his mother, Deborah, was home alone. She told police she never saw her son.
You know what stopped him from getting in the house? He didn't have a garage door opener.
That's interesting. So I remember them saying that he connected to their Wi-Fi, but I didn't remember him trying to attempt. And you can tell, because I was thinking, like, judging by the email we read in the beginning of this, is that when he might have talked to her, told her the situation, because it seems like she knows more about it than anybody else does. But the way she's saying, that motherfucker, what stopped him from getting in the house? He didn't have a garage door opener. So she seems pissed off about the situation, unless that's when he talked to her and told her what was going on, because she definitely seems to know something per that email.
I mean, if I remember right, she had heard that, and then I don't know how long later she was outside yelling Madeline's name. So
right.
I'm not sure the timeline exactly on it, but it was within that, probably within like 12 hours. So I don't know. I'd have to look at that again. But I mean, also I think in their interview, they also spoke about it.
Yeah. And that's going to be one of the interviews on my page. I need to re-listen to those.
Yeah, their interview on, I can't remember the channel, but
Hidden True Crime.
Hidden
True Crime. Yep. She re-interviewed them. I need to watch that one again too.
Yeah, they give a fair amount of information on that.
Yeah, so we need to review
and what they don't is also telling. So that's
Screaming Daisy said his mom's premonition was spot on with what happened to Maddie. It's just we don't know if it was how she said Jen did it or if it was actually Stephan. Yeah, it was spot on. She said that she thought she had a premonition that Jen came upstairs, caught them in the act, flipped out, choked her, and then Stephan did what he did because he felt guilty about basically being with Maddie, and so he's taking the fall for everything. And I mean, we know now that she was choked and all of that, so I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to say.
in the
And
house.
that's why I was thinking, could it have
He didn't
been
have a
a
garage
business
door opener.
agreement?
Sorry, love. Go ahead.
You can keep going. It's good.
You were saying you thought it could have been a business agreement?
That's one of the
like-
reasons why I thought it could have been like a business type agreement where he would take the fall.
Oh, yeah. So basically he made an agreement with Jen that like, I'm going to do this. And if anything happens, I'll take the fall for it. And we're going to make money and all of this. Yeah. That's what you're
Yeah.
saying, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
While searching her son's bedroom here, Deborah Stearns told detectives she found a torso of a sex doll. According to investigators, she initially believed it to be real, prompting Stearns' mother to run outside and begin calling out Madeline's
And
name.
that references
But
what Morning Werewolves was just saying. Real quick, I wanted to tell y'all this is WKMG News Channel 6. Click Orlando. Just to put them out there. I will drop them in the description box after the live. And we'll get back to this. Yeah, I remembered the torso of the sex doll, and I was like, oh my God, what? Yeah.
And that is so weird to leave out in your room where anybody can find it. Like, would that be like in your closet stuffed under a bunch of
Police
shit?
found
so
no
nobody
signs
finds
of
it?
the missing teen in Northport.
Right. It seems like something you would have hidden.
Yeah,
So
I
nobody
mean,
could find it.
most people place those kinds of things, any kind of toy, like in a private place. That's just in his room.
Yep.
Like, weird.
It is weird.
It also shows to display that he didn't care. So how far would he go to have to try to hide things?
Yeah. I mean, because his parents it don't seem like he would have had to work hard to hide things because they wouldn't know what the shit was anyway. So he probably left a lot of stuff laying around.
Yep.
Port.
I don't know where you got the etymology, but you're telling me he was down there at 7:45.
Still behind the wheel of his girlfriend's car, detectives say cameras captured video of Stearns heading towards the interstate and beginning the nearly 150-mile drive back to the Orlando area. When Stearns returned to the hotel at 10:55 a.m., he reportedly told his dad he'd gone out for a drive and gotten lost.
He spent a lifetime lying to us, and it's just never gotten better. And
that's why I don't think they know anything. And if he did talk to anybody, it would have been his mom. Dr. Seuss says that's premeditation.
It is.
What is premeditation? What is? I missed it.
Like trying to hide evidence or do any work to try to hide it.
Yeah.
That goes to premeditation some, but also he can be charged with premeditation just because he kept going with strangulation. Strangulation is often one that you can charge as premeditated because of the length of time or the ability to revive a person before or after. Because, I mean, it only takes a few pounds of pressure if you're on, like, the arteries. And then you'll go unconscious, and it's a bit different that way. But if you are mainly cutting off an airway, that's also going to be longer. So that's continual decision to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, because it takes quite a while to, Because I was like, okay, how can we prove, though, that he planned it? But now you're saying that with strangulation, they'll charge with premeditation. So that could be the premeditation.
They can often, not always, but they often can just because of the time lapses and because there is the ability to get help if it goes just a step too far, I'm going to say, and revive.
Right. Okay. That explains that. Thank you.
he fed me some the other day, and before I left the house the other night, I turned to my wife and I said, "Do we really know Stephan? Can we honestly say we really know him?"
While detectives were interviewing Christopher Stearns, deputies took his son into custody on child sex charges. Investigators say they found images on Stearns' Google account that showed him molesting Madeline.
Your son has been arrested for sexual battery.
What?
Your son was arrested for sexual battery.
He's like, what did you just say? I can't imagine though being a parent and finding that out about your child.
Yeah, it's
detectives now believe Stearns gained access to a computer device while in.
Sorry, love.
Oh, I was gonna say most parents don't believe it, or it can take years for them to accept it in any way.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yep. Hey, Dr. Rana, thank you for being here and thank you for becoming part of the Speculating family. It would crush me too, you know. But then, I mean, again,
one of my siblings is, and my mother actually still has not gotten to any point really of understanding or accepting that. Most family members haven't, only a few of my siblings have. So that's something that, first of all, destroys a family, but it also creates huge rifts in that how could you say that, you know, go against this victim or these victims, and how could you side with someone who is so evil or not believe any of the evidence that's been shown to you? And that's something that our brains can block out. And also, if you want, it's like you don't want that to happen. And if you have more of a want to not believe it, then you're going to start getting into even more, I guess, excuses for that person.
Yeah. And a lot of people want to condemn his parents for still supporting him. And it's like, you know, like you said,
that
first
doesn't
of
make
all,
sense.
yeah, it's hard to believe that your child could be capable of something like that. And then when you find out they are, I mean, I mean, you guys might hate me, but if God forbid I found out somebody in my family or my child did that, that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop loving them or support them while I can and they're in jail. Now, it also doesn't mean that I'm going to baby him and be like, you know, paying a bunch of lawyers to try to get him off of the charges, you know, like, or trying to say it was somebody else when I know it was my child. I mean, I would say, you know, you've done these things, you need to account for them and you need to apologize and you need to be held accountable, but that doesn't mean I would stop loving you and stop supporting you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that 2 things or 3 things, they can exist all at the same time.
Right.
And everybody's reactions are going to be different. And I don't think that this is an abnormal reaction, especially since they are saying, yes, our son did this and we're not happy about this. This is bad.
Right.
So, yeah, several things can be true. You can still love someone and they have done heinous things. Or maybe you have just ambivalence and like there's or very hateful feelings, and all of that is valid. It doesn't mean that you are someone who has enabled or done anything. It's not a reflection of guilt for someone who is, you know, a parent or parental figure kind of thing.
Yeah.
I do have issue though with his mother.
Logging into his Google.
Sorry.
What's your issue? No, you're good. What's your issue with?
I have issue with his mother, who said she told them multiple times about Madeline being in the same bed and it not being appropriate, and also heard Madeline saying things that were highly inappropriate involving him. and never said anything except to the two people who she knew wouldn't do anything. I mean, that can be easily reported anonymously, and that's something I do have an issue with. That's something she's going to have to bear. I don't think that necessarily means she's culpable. I'm just saying that's a big issue, and it goes to show kind of their attitude, or at least hers, towards him.
Right. Where is that in the interview on Hidden True Crime that
It is.
she talks about that? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a big problem. If you saw things and knew things that were suspicious and then you didn't tell anybody except the two people who were, involved, yeah, that would be a big problem because
No, like she actually made Madeline sleep in her bed with her and her husband go, like, they have two different bedrooms. They talk about it in the interview, but then made Potato and shit dick. They made them go into a different room because she was like, no, you're not going to have Madeline sleep with you. It's not appropriate. But she would continue doing that, knowing full well it would happen again at home, and she would continue saying it. So she actually involved herself some.
Yeah.
And knew about it. And knew about, like, she was the one that Madeline told about, her leg on his nasty leg, those kinds of things.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I felt when I heard that brought up, I felt like Madeline was trying to, basically Madeline wanted to tell, but she was kind of trying to test the waters to see what she would say. And that made my heart break. But yeah, as a mother, like, I mean, I understand wanting to protect your child, but I'm sorry if my son has a girlfriend and her daughter's telling me stuff like that, even my son telling me that, you sleep alone in the bed with the child, I'm going to have a problem. And yeah, I'm probably going to call somebody. Like, I don't understand why she wouldn't.
Absolutely.
Like, and then, when the CPS knocks on the door, I'm going to be like, yeah, you can hate me for the rest of your life if you want to, but that shit was concerning and I needed to do something. So be mad at me if you want to, but
absolutely. It's like, no, I'm not going to let you victimize someone just because I know you or you're my blood. You're still responsible and you're going to bear the consequences. And I'm going to do everything I can for anybody who I believe is possibly a victim.
Yeah. Mayla's mom said, devil's advocate, many people don't want to get that involved, and she probably didn't think he was doing anything, but felt it was wrong. It's a possibility. I would say if she felt like they weren't doing anything wrong, then why would she be so adamant about having Madeline sleep in the bed with her that night?
Oh, she did it several times, and she did say it was wrong. But also there is that cognitive dissonance of, no, this isn't right, but I'm not going to be able to see. I'm going to keep myself from believing anything else about it.
Yeah.
So those two things could be very true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Google account using his parents' Wi-Fi to delete the images and videos of his sexually abusing Madeline, but was...
Okay. Now, I didn't know that. I knew he had tried logging onto the Google account using his parents' Wi-Fi, but I've not heard it was specifically to delete the images and videos of him abusing Madeline. Now, my page is redacted, but I have the same one they do, and you can't say that unless you know it to be fact. I mean, so maybe that's what he was doing since this is the news station, but I would assume that they're assuming, and that's not cool.
I do remember when he was in the car for like a few hours before cops even got there, and he kept trying to log into his Google account and then did it on Jen's phone and couldn't. Perhaps he was logged in near his parents and then was able to try and was going to try and like delete it there.
It's possible. Do we know that that's what he was doing though specifically, right? Like, I mean, we can
Yes,
assume that's what he was doing.
Jen said he was trying to get into his Google account.
Right. But we can assume that he was trying to delete images and videos of what he was doing, but we don't know that to be fact.
Correct.
That's my issue with them saying that, unless they know it was a fact. Now, again, I would assume, yeah, that's probably what he's doing. And, you know, common sense would tell you that, but I wouldn't put it out there as fact unless, you know, we could validate it.
I mean, it could be validated just by even a few deleted things that they find in the trash bin.
Yeah, it's true.
Was unsuccessful. While investigating Stearns' Google account, detectives say they found evidence that someone did multiple searches for sevoflurane, an anesthetic that can put patients to sleep before surgery and can cause hypnosis and amnesia.
Now, Jenny Jen said that those were from 2 weeks beforehand. Jenny Jen, I don't know where she got that from. I don't know if she got it off of my page, but I need to validate when that was searched. Like if it was immediately that night, that the next day, I don't know when. Jenny Jen said that it was 2 weeks beforehand, and I trust what my mods tell me because they're all pretty smart, but I don't know when he searched that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And is that one used primarily for people or for animals? Now, I know ketamine is one that's commonly done, and they will find someone they can get it from who's in some type of veterinary practice.
Yeah,
it's also less regulated.
I had heard it was used for both. We're about to find out right now.
Okay.
Lord have mercy. I hope they don't ever pull my Google searches because they're going to be like, this bitch over here, what the hell is she doing?
I'm like, my Google searches are incriminating for everything. Oh my God.
Yeah, it says sevoflurane is the most used anesthetic inhalant in veterinary medicine.
Okay.
So yeah, isoflurane and sevoflurane are.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too.
Yeah. And that takes me back to his parents having the poodle, breeding the poodles. Like I think he had access to it somehow.
I mean, the pet ambulance, his car was the pet ambulance.
Yep. Okay.
Apparently wanted to know whether sevoflurane will show up in a drug test. Those Google searches were conducted less than 2 weeks before Madeline vanished.
Okay, so it was about 2 weeks. So that would make me question, like, okay, why he wouldn't. I mean, that would make me think the theory about possibly drugging her when they were doing stuff to her. But I mean, again, that would show it could possibly show premeditation, because why are you worried about it showing up in a drug screen? When is Maddie going to be drug screened unless they test for drugs when she's deceased?
Absolutely. Or it could be for pregnancy.
To get rid. Yeah.
Yeah, like if for that, or would it show up in a fetus's drug screen? Something like that.
Yeah, that's a possible speculation.
But, I mean, I would say most likely he's just searching it for the effects it would have on Madeline.
Yeah.
Impression is that he loves out of her, you know, and he was very upset Monday when he was talking to me. You know, he was sobbing and blaming himself for her disappearance.
Weeks after his
dad really just said, my impression is that he loves the sex he got out of her. Wow.
son's arrest, while Christopher Stearns was cleaning out his storage unit in Northport,
Oh, we might hear about the storage unit. What were you saying, love?
Oh, I was just sighing in disgust.
Oh. Yeah.
He told authorities he found a box of his son's belongings that included 2 USB drives. Detectives say one of those USB drives contained over 35,000 images of child pornography. None of the images were Madeline, according to police. Stephans Stearns was arrested for sexual battery 2 days after Madeline had been reported missing. Although investigators believe the 13-year-old was dead, they did not know where her body was hidden. Next up.
And then that's going to show where her body was. And those pictures are in the picture videos, and it shows a little like computer image on the homicide indictment. Hold on. I can actually pull that up real quick before we go. If I can get my video to work long enough to show you guys where her body was found. Like there's like a computer graph of where she was found and how she was laid.
Oh, yeah, that would be useful. I forgot about that.
Thank you all for being here today with us.
Also, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming up, because you've been really you've helped me out a lot, understand a lot of this stuff.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's in this one. I'm going to skim through it and we'll find that. The picture, like I've got pictures, but it just kind of shows the gate and the area in general. What I'm going to pull up is like a graph. This is page 105. It tells us it's an incident report. Okay. I put chapters in this one. I don't know if it'll show me, but narrative 2. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get to the... Because I know it was like in the middle or towards the end. Yeah, crime scene info. Okay. Actually, I clicked right on it. So we'll listen to this real quick. District 9 Medical Examiner's Office is the location. The date is Monday, March 4th. The decedent would be Maddie. The suspect is Stephen Michael Stearns. Detective Morris from the Kissimmee Police Department from Major Crimes Unit. Yes, there was a number of photographs taken of the scene, 192, and a total number of items submitted from the scene was 3, as far as evidence goes. And that would have been the tire marker and those things we've discussed already. Here are the pictures of those tire treads they collected from the crime scene. If you would like to see more crime scene photos, they're in a video with this thumbnail. There's no pictures of Maddie from the crime scene. Now it gives us a scene description. The scene consisted of a large private property located west of Hickory Tree Road. The front gate of the field faced east of Hickory Tree Road. And right here is the gate to the property. So it's going to be down here somewhere, I do believe.
Yeah, it's down there and then a little bit to the
from
left.
the crime scene. Again, you see pictures from the... It's down there and then a little bit to the left.
I saw a court TV where they went to the actual location.
Oh, wow. Okay. Crime scene. They're in the video with the thumbnail that I just referenced. I think it's like right after. The image above depicts the address as indicated by the red marker from Google Maps. And they signed it.
Yeah, and see that little like bush area right there?
And we have a
He was
narrative.
found right behind that.
Yeah, there's like a picture of it. I'm not going to go through the narrative, but I'm looking for it. Is that... Let me see what this is. If it'll load. Yeah, that's what I was looking for right there. Let me pause it. So, okay, you can see my mouse. This is where Maddie was found. That's like a graphic of her body right there.
Yes.
Anyway, that's what I was trying to show y'all. She was laid in bamboo trees, and I think she was on her left side, and that's the gate. Mm. All right.
It's so
Yes,
sad.
this is Mooning Werewolves on panel with me. It is really sad. All right, I'm going to take that down. I'm going to have to go for the day, and I won't be
Alright.
here tomorrow.
Thank you
Oh,
so much.
yeah, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Somebody said the Google Maps thing or the Google Meet thing, they were like, I think it was her, Miss Jim Morrison, said that they figured out why Jen might not be implicated, and they said that Google Meet is like WhatsApp, and where it's encrypted. So
Yeah,
all of their conversations would have been encrypted, and they might not be able to show that Jen knew anything. I want to look that
but
up.
Google is very good with sending things to enforcement. If it were
Mhm.
something like Signal or Telegram or WhatsApp, then those would be more encrypted. But like, as far as I know, Google has so much information with it. I think
Yeah.
it would likely have something.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that if they gave him like the access to the photos,
Yeah,
even though it's encrypted, I would think that they would still give that information to the police.
absolutely. Because even if they can't tell, because they can still link the account. And if they can link the account, especially through a phone number, then that's a lot of evidence.
Okay. It says that, yes, the police can request information from Google, including Google Meet data, but Google's legal team reviews every request, and there are some restrictions. But considering they gave him the pictures and how important it would
Yeah,
be for them to have that information, I would think that they would give it to them.
absolutely.
Yep. Okay.
All right, I'm going to get off. Thanks for having me. Hope you have a
Okay,
good
yeah.
rest of your day, y'all.
Thank you. I hope you do too. And thank you for giving me all that information. That was really awesome. I really appreciate your breakdown.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Have a good day. It seems suspicious to me too, Jen. And I don't understand why they would use that. You guys in chat, I'm sorry if I missed some of your comments. Chat was going so fast and there was so much going on. It's hard to multitask when there's so many great people up on panel giving information and insight. So I hope nobody felt neglected or anything. I apologize if I made you feel that way. Yeah, that's interesting. Veronica, never heard of anyone else in other cases even mention this app or Google Meet that was ever used. It is weird. It's very weird that they're using Google Meet to talk instead of their regular text messages. Like, why would they do that unless they were trying to have encrypted messages? It's just weird. I don't know why you would use Google Meet instead of just texting back and forth like normal people do. But I would hope that the police would give them that information. It seems like they would, especially considering they got all the images and things from his Google Drive. So thank you guys. You guys are what makes this channel great. Like I've said before, I could sit here and talk to myself until the cows come home, and it would be nothing without you guys in chat and coming up on panel and giving me your thoughts, opinions, and speculations as well. So thank you guys for being here. You guys are what makes this place great. Alex said, I can't risk letting Maddie sleep in my room anymore. 2, Maddie is then being filmed in a makeshift bedroom in the living room. 3, Steph is given a room upstairs with a lock. Connect the dots. Yeah. And there was stuff done in her room, that little makeshift room, because they talk about there being a stain on the sheets. And I'm like, how were you doing stuff in that room and nobody's seeing you? I'll never understand, but okay. Basil got out a few minutes ago of the room. It gets cold back here in the evening. So he's out there under the table, chillaxing. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody who came and stopped by. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you're watching it on replay, leave me a comment. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I won't be here tomorrow, but I'll be back Wednesday, and I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about. I will put the reading of the tablets where they're talking back and forth to each other. I'll get that information out on a video as soon as I can. I don't know what I'll be able to do tomorrow because I'll be driving pretty much all day. So I'm going to try to fix the Madeline Soto playlist, but I don't know how much time I'll have. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Have the best night ever. Bye.